So I just realized, you guys, that I wasn't on the screen. And I always have this intro song. I even played it twice, and I guess I still didn't realize that I was not on the screen. But I definitely want to say welcome to the Reason with Roz. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, and thank you for coming on this Saturday night with me. As I mentioned, I'm usually here on Friday nights, but I missed that last night, working some things out. But I'm here on Saturday, so I hope that we can vibe tonight. This is a place of transparency, honesty, freedom, safety, all that. But I will say, you guys, don't forget that this is YouTube. So you know, just think about the things that you say before you say it and all that good stuff. But more than that, that's what we're here for. Lionel, just for you, I could turn it back on. It was Snow Allegra, the remix. I just want you around to fit the thing tonight. But evening to you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. How has you guys' weekend been? Before I start this, I just want to say to Chaotic Truth Live 777, our dinner with the seven, Gospel of Bob, and all you guys who I've moderated for and have put your channels in everyone's chat and asked for money for you guys and promoted you guys on my channel still. If you guys are out there listening, because you guys are live right now, I just want y'all to know from the bottom of my heart and respectfully for causing so much traffic tonight. I don't like the cuss, but just that. Now we're gonna go from there. Now, again, welcome to the Reasoning with Roz. We do have a couple of rules here on the panel. Definitely no profanity. Well, you can have a little profanity, but not those harsh gutter word type profanity words. Also, let's not call people racial epithets or slurs or anything like that. I don't necessarily need to give you an example, I don't think. But if I do, you can try to put it in the chat and they'll take it out of there. But yeah, so I'm saying that also. And what else? Don't get up here belligerently inebriated. Come up here, don't have your words slurring. If you know your words on Slurville, or if you know you in Slurville land, go ahead, take some time, breathe a little bit, and come back. Then you can get on the panel. But also, let people talk. Let's not talk over each other. I don't normally have that problem over here ever, so I thank you guys for not presenting that. But yeah, I gotta say that. And lastly, the topic is, and the topic will remain. So please don't come up here changing it to anything that does not pertain to this topic. Now I can see a little content text to talking about the topic and some examples. But please, if the topic is red, do not come up here and try to change it to yellow. And I ask you guys that respectfully. So, how are you guys doing today? How has your week been? How has this wonderful Saturday been to you guys? How is your night going? And last time I was here last week, I did a Valentine's Day show and it was called In the Thick of It. So how did that go? Like afterwards, did you guys go hang out? Did the men who thought that Valentine's Day was only for women or still believe that, buy some gifts, take some women out, go to church on Sunday, you know, do a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. That's all I'm asking. That's all I would like to know. Another thing that I talked about last week, I said, you guys, that I have a website, and I would love for you guys to go down there to subscribe to it. It is a newsletter where I put information out every week on like mental health and mental awareness, things particular to men as well as women. I suffer from a mental health issue, quote unquote, bipolar 2. At one point was on medication. At one point was on medication and therapy. at one point was just on therapy, and then completely just therapy, working out, holistic things. So that's my story. I try to tell that and encourage one to encourage another, to say that, it's not what it looks like all the time. People hear bipolar and they think a person is running down the street screaming naked out their mind, or that they can't maintain their life or raise their kids. But try to put a different face to it, and let you know that people are yes, I am. I feel like I've overcome it. I have overcome it, or I'm living through it. So I'm managing it, and I try to show people how to manage it. So if you haven't figured out who I'm referring to, it's always Lionel, because he always got something to say. Stop saying you suffer from it and you're overcoming it. I am overcoming it, but I'm 43 and I'm just now on therapy, just complete therapy. But I try to push holistic and alternative medicine and all that good stuff. What was I talking about? Young Reyes, thank you for joining. Nice to see you. Appreciate it. I know you said last week that you was gonna come, so I definitely, definitely, definitely appreciate you. I was talking about the week, all that good stuff. I don't remember because somebody interrupted me. I ain't even started smoking yet. Talking about the week, asking y'all how it went. Mine was long. Mine was rough. Mine was hard. Well, I got through that shit. I'm here on Saturday. I barely made it today. Thank God for God. Thank God for life. Thank God for friends. Thank God for people who care. And if I couldn't say one thing to you guys, always stand up for yourself. Always know who you are. And if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything. So with that mentality, remember that. Tonight's show, as you guys seen, is called The Painful Gap Between Love and Capacity. And does anybody out there have a clue of what I'm talking about when I mention capacity? What thoughts come to mind, or what could you possibly think that would be? Oh my God. Always over here, that seems to be a glitch, where I'm usually set up for things as far as my show, the literature for it. But sometimes, things go away and I have to look for it again. So yeah. When I talk about capacity, I was asking what do you guys think? What comes to mind? And love and capacity in regards to relationships doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, eros love. It could be familial. It could be friends, whatever. But definitely tonight, that's definitely what we are talking about. It might be deep, it might be heavy for some of us might get emotional. I don't know. I know I get, I be all up in it, and you know some of these topics I could just feel like what I'm gonna get from that night before the show start. So I'm hoping that tonight is one of those nights, and I get a lot of that ooey gooey that I'm looking for. But I want to start off by saying and starting, the monologue. Have you ever loved someone deeply? You know, deeply. You remember that love where you write in the names and do you like me and all that stuff. When you a kid, that love feel like it's so real. Love someone that it lives in your bones, and still somehow the relationship feels like it's starving. That's what happens when love exists, but capacity does not. Love is a feeling. It's the fire, it's the chemistry, it's the magnetic pull. But capacity is the ability to live it out. It's how we carry that love, how we show up for it, how we protect it when things are rough. Because someone you can love deeply may still not have the capacity to love you well. Anybody experience that? Somebody that you love deeply doesn't seem to be able to love you well, or in that relationship, or in that friendship, they're just not meeting up or showing up for the task. So, I got to get lit, you guys. Just give me a second. God ain't help you. You did that on your own. You're a whole vibe. Thank you very much, Lionel. I appreciate that very much. But yo, I gotta give a shout out to the creator all the time. Here we go. They might want to be everything you need, but they can't always hold space for your emotions, growth, and your silence. And that's not because they don't care. Sometimes it's because they haven't learned to. Love makes you feel, but capacity builds foundation. It it's what shows up when the honeymoon fades, when communication gets tough, and when life starts lifing. It's what determines whether your connection matures or breaks. Sometimes, and I know it's hard to hear this, love just isn't enough. My mom always told me that growing up. She used to say, in the words of Tina Turner, "What's love got to do with it, Shantae?" Ooh, I almost told y'all my government. I almost said that for a second, but my mom would always say, "What's love got to do with it?" And in my tender young age, I didn't necessarily understand what that meant, or even what it meant as in walking into it. But I understand now that it means that love just isn't enough sometimes. And not because love isn't real, not because love isn't real, but because love without emotional capacity can't sustain itself. You can mean I love you with all your soul and still not know how to listen, how to be present, and how to meet somebody's needs. And that right there is the gap between how we feel and what we're able to give. Hence the title, The Gap Between Love and Your Capacity. So as I'm getting now, do we got any thoughts? Anybody thinking about that? Anybody out here trying to love on somebody and just trying to figure it out? Lionel, I know you got some, I don't want to say some issues. I know you probably out there loving on a chick, but you probably love on them well. So who knows? You might not have them issues. Yeah. So tonight we're going to reason together. I want you to think about your own love stories where you are showing up with deep but limited capacity. Where you are showing up in your relationships with deep love but limited capacity. I'm going to repeat that again. Tonight, I want to talk about where you are showing up with deep love but limited capacity. There we go. I'm just saying it again because, some of y'all be like, yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. But, it's enough to say that you're doing everything. But if that person isn't receiving it, feeling it, you know, I'm just saying. So, yeah. Let me go. Huh. And where you are accepting love that feels good but doesn't feed your spirit. So think about where you're showing up with deep love, but it's limited in capacity, and where you're accepting love that feels good, but it doesn't feed your spirit or your soul. So yes, chemistry is what starts the fire. I want chemistry. I want chemistry. I want chemistry. We ain't got no chemistry. We ain't got no chemistry. To the point where men are saying that now, that we don't have no chemistry, that it's just, you just want to look at people, hear a song, like some movies together, and think that that shit gonna work. It don't work like that. For long lasting, don't have to be the best, don't have to be the greatest, could be wonderful, could be bad, but long lasting relationships, it just don't always work like that. So yeah, because yes, chemistry will start the fire, but it's the capacity that determines if your love survives the life or the night. Anyone can be nice, kind, or sweet on any day. That don't take much of anything. But it's when they're tired, when life is pulling them from angle to angle. That's when you really see what people are made of. It's when they're triggered, but they keep choosing presence instead of withdrawal. When being honest feels risky, but they stay truthful anyway. That's where emotional capacity shows itself. So now, I'm talking about it in this beautiful way, but I'm just going to break it down to some of y'all who don't want to hear all my worldly, beautiful words that I take my time to write prior to the show. Emotional capacity isn't perfection. It isn't, oh, I got everything together. It's just the ability to recognize, process, and manage a wide range of emotions, even the messy, conflicting ones, without shutting down or exploding. It's like a container or a muscle. If it's strong, the more emotion, empathy, and stress that it can hold. And when it's weak, even small moments feel like it's too much for that person, for that situation, whatever it is. It's just way too much for them. So that's when we reach our limit, and that's the space that we call emotional burnout. I know I want to say hi to some people. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm like not paying attention. I definitely am. King Pix, thank you for joining. I saw you earlier this week, and you said you would be here, so I appreciate you. And Sky Walker, thank you, Sky Walker. I know you got a show going on, so everybody, if you haven't subscribed to Gospel of Bob, and if you haven't checked out over there, definitely go over there and come back over here, and then y'all can go back over there. But spend a lot more time over here though. But again, thank you so much, Sky Walker, for joining. Yeah. So that's when you call emotional burnout. So as we move deeper into tonight's reasoning, ask yourself how full is your container right now? Are you tending to it? Are you strengthening it? Are you running empty? Because love, connection, and peace, they all depend on the space we can hold, not just for others, but for ourselves. Let's reason on that. Before we open up this discussion, I want to just tell y'all a little bit more because I am talking about emotional capacity in a good way. And, a lot of people out here feel that they have emotional capacity and emotional intelligence, but there are some people out here who don't necessarily have it. So, because emotional capacity is not only about how much we can hold, it's also about what it looks like when our cup is running low. You see individuals with low emotional capacity, or what some call low emotional intelligence, often struggle to identify with what they're feeling, confused, don't know, can't place it, project their feelings, their emotions, everything that they're feeling on people at that moment. That is what that means, you guys listening to me. Um, I said they struggle to identify what they're feeling. They might not have the language for their emotions. And because of that, they find it hard to see or feel someone else's. They can become defensive instead of curious. They might resist feedback, take everything as an attack, and end up stuck, not because they don't care, but because they don't know yet how to move through their feelings without drowning in them. And when that happens, love gets heavy, communication breaks down, communication starts to fade. Have you ever been in a space where love was real, but the capacity just wasn't enough to carry it forward? How did you recognize it? How did you handle it? Because we're talking about emotional capacity, it's about relationship readiness, not how much someone feels, but how much they can hold. And that is the hard truth that we're going to be facing tonight. So definitely I know that was a lot that I said, but once again, emotional capacity, the ability to process, manage a wide range of emotions. That is what it is. I myself, let me just give me 1 second, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm back. Sorry. Thank y'all for joining again. I was having some issues over here. I can't really tell y'all what was going on. I just know that the battery was low, and I know I've been having it charged all day. But yeah, I was talking about emotional capacity, the ability to recognize a wide range of emotions. So in my years and younger life, because I am over 40, I'm over 41, I'm over 42, but I'm not over 43. So that's a good thing, I ain't 50 yet, and I ain't 45. Ah. Oh God, no issues over here. Need to stop holding. So Lionel says, King Sugsverse says King Picks was good. Lionel says need to stop holding so much love. Now I thought that men would say that tonight. I really did. I thought that the men would say that tonight, or a man would say that tonight. And this particular man definitely thought he would say that. You're always having issues. Dave, 50 years ago, sir, my shows are to help the humankind and mankind. This is not just about me. I am sharing the walk when life is lifing. So, in my years prior to this big 4-3 that I am, I used to think that love was about, hmm, man look good, you know, all you need is chemistry. Y'all will hang out together. And I don't know at what point, because I didn't start dating men, dudes until I was like in college or whatever, but didn't really know what to expect in the grown up aspect of it or the mature sense of it. So I remember prior to this wonderful man that I have in my life, I was in college and I didn't know this man this man I have now in college. So prior to this, about a good 20 years ago, I was dating this man. He was an older man. And he used to have like, it was just great. Like, he was wonderful. He was nice. He was sweet. Hung out together, smoked together, all that kind of stuff. Went out, liked music, all the wonderful things that you think. Look cute together. He can dress. He got a job. I got a job. You know, all the things they say, man got to have a job. Man need this. Man need that. But every time the first of the month would come, this man would be just mean and out of control and would explode on me. He would shut down, just all types of things. I'd be like, yo, what's up with this dude? And it was just always consistent at the first of the month. And he would like talk about bills and things of that nature. So in every aspect of his life, he was cool in regards to talking, mingling, social, and everything. But when bills came up, he would completely shut down and just wasn't very good with handling. Though bills were paid, it was like whole personality change in the way that he handled stress in that way was difficult for me to see and deal with because I was the recipient of his behavior or his actions. So the frustration that he felt for a good week or two or whatever, or not seeing him or anything. So in that moment, I was just like, oh no, I can't deal with this man. This man is just too stressed out for me. And like if something in life starts to hit, I'm not confident that he's going to be able to handle that or walk through that. Um, that was just, one situation. And I didn't necessarily understand it then, but examples to me of emotional capacity. Why were you bringing up negative topics to him? Negative topics, sir? Are you listening? I said this man had bills and he was stressed out when he had bills. Um, Another topic, way I had some friends, a friend of mine who, I know this is really not the best. So we're not going to name this friend, but this friend has a weave. And there was a point where she didn't have any access to get her hair done. And it just was not looking great for her. But her natural hair was beautiful. You know, I promote naturalness. So her natural hair was beautiful. But she was like, oh no, I can't go to work. I can't go outside. And just started pouring down in tears, shut down, withdrawn, couldn't do anything. And I was like, oh, wow. Freaked me out. Like, out of me. I never seen no shit like that before. It's like, yo, this girl is kind of weird as shit. Still to this day, we remain friends, and she still acts the same. And it comes to that part. Now, there have been some friendships that I've had where I I can be a lot. I can be a bit much, I believe. But I think that everybody can be a bit much. But if you have boundaries and if you know who you are, you can oftentimes deal with people and tell people and show people, you know, how to treat you. Some say in your younger years, but when you're older, you don't got time to be teaching and showing people how to treat you. But when folks are in love and in relationships, they most times think that that's what has to happen. A lot of women use the word they have to train a man. I have some friends who say they have to train a man. I often use the term gotta get on a program or something like that. All that stuff is superficial to the ability to love somebody. The ability, the instant, the in now, the action of it, and the doing it. And that's the part of the capacity that we're talking about. So let me get into it. I have a couple of questions here that I'm probably going to answer myself. Thank you, love. Oh, see, love and emotional capacity. Love is going well, capacity is going well. Sorry. So I got my drink now. And now we can get real raunchy, like with the topic. Lionel, help me. I see you in there. Can you bring me back to what I was just saying? Why were you bringing up negative topics? Can you bring me back? Like I was just saying something, and I just needed you to help me again. Like, okay, I was like in love, in love, in love, in love. Do you have that capacity to love? Do you have the capacity to talk to your partner in these relationships, handle the things that they're saying without feeling that it's going to be difficult or that it's about you? There are times where people can be defensive and you're just trying to show them or ask them to speak to you differently, care for you differently, things of that nature. High capacity is handling the intense situations, processing the feelings, returning to the calm state, not lashing out or withdrawing. Being able to have a healthy conversation with your partner or with your friends or whomever you were in with your partners or with your friends is the ultimate goal, right? So I always have this saying, like, I love everybody. Like, I love everybody till they don't love me no more. And even when they don't love me, I still love them. So, but I'm not actively loving on them. I just love them, but I don't have to show them any capacity there. But hold on. If I can tell y'all where this beer is from, it's like a chocolate beer. It tastes really good. Okay, yeah. So yeah. When what I was about to say. When you're in that. So there are situations. Lionel says that these dudes are toxic. Toxic friendships, all that. There are situations where you're talking to people and people don't necessarily are able to handle conversations. I am always talking to people and I feel that like people should be able to say what it is that they want to say. And if you have respect and understanding, then you just have to listen to them. How you feel about it, you can talk about that later. But you have to have the capacity to stand in the moment and have the conversation. That's one thing. The opposite of that is not being able to stand in the moment and have the conversation. It might push you away, it might shut you down, it might break you down. And a lot of people, that it's not necessarily healthy because you want to be able to talk. So if you're in a situation where you can't explain yourself and you can't speak to your partner or your friends about things that are bothering you or things that happen or transgressions that they commit, then that puts you in a little box. But that's not necessarily what it's about. It's not the feelings, it's the capacity. So you need to be with people, places, and things who are able to have the capacity to deal with you. Low capacity are minor setbacks. People will blow up just or be irritable with just the smallest things. Cup falling over, loud banging of noise, things of that nature. That is very, 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 very low. And I have definitely met people on that level. And I would say that as being a case manager and being a social worker, meet many different people, and you meet, I mean, professionals who do not have the capacity to love or to operate in relationships or friendships with people. And they actually come to therapists or come to, and I know Lionel is totally against this, or come to rehab centers where they have to be taught the skills to do that, because everybody doesn't have the ability to do that. And it's not a natural thing. It's definitely, is it? Is it? I don't think so. Is emotional capacity a natural thing or to act out the ability to love? Is it a natural feeling? Probably not, because I know as the show goes on, I'm going to talk more about how you can develop ways to increase your emotional capacity. I'm definitely about to drop the link right now. So if there are any people out here who definitely want to, I was about to leave this thing. I'm so sorry. There are some people out here who want to share their stories or tell me about some things where, there are people in life who just can't deal with life issues and problems. I myself am not one who likes to be in the midst of it, but I know my levels of emotional capacity, and I'm going to talk about that in one quick second. I am back. My fault. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to take this off the screen. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Hmm. So look, I don't have a lot of friends. Surprise, surprise. Got some friends that I grew up with, but then I don't communicate a lot with them. I'm not a person who always on Facebook and talking to the friends. I'm not a person who want to go out with all the friends on the weekend. Just not that person. I don't have the capacity to operate like that. So like where it says like you gotta show up and go to the thing, I kind of like operate by myself on that. So I'm not like in the friend groups with that. And my friends are completely okay with that. I am a person who likes to talk to people, but I also deal with my own mental health issues at times. So it's a lot of things that I feel or I know that I don't have the capacity for because of how it would affect me. And that limits me in ways. So when we started talking earlier, I said, what is a situation where you're loving, but you're showing up limited in capacity. So for me, I think that for me, in situations, I very well know where I am limited at because of that. Hey D, thank you for joining. I know that because I'm usually like, oh, I don't want to hear all that. And I don't stop people from saying it. I'll listen to your story and everything like that. And I love it. But with it, I might not can have all the tears, or if you're screaming with it, or you're just completely mad, but I can definitely handle the words and take the words. But if I get caught up in like the physical part of what's displayed in front of me at that time, I might succumb to feelings and emotions opposed to just having the capacity to maneuver through that conversation. So yeah, happens to me. Not a lot, just because I don't put myself in situations like that. And I don't put myself in situations. I've been on, you've been on wine all night tonight, D. Okay. What the fuck is the topic? D, the topic is the painful gap between love and capacity. When you are loving on when someone is loving you but they don't have the capacity to love you well, to show up for you in times where you need them emotionally, financially, maybe socially, all that good stuff. I went into this whole monologue and gave a definition. I could get you caught up in a little bit. Building emotional, because now we're talking about building it. Building emotional capacity involves developing skills that relate to emotional intelligence, such as self-awareness, self-regulation, um, and relationship management. That can be achieved through practices with mindfulness, journaling, being active, listening, friends, support, all that kind of stuff. I was talking D about, have you ever been in a situation where you're loving on somebody but you're showing up short because you don't have the capacity to love them well. Meaning that they might be the best thing for you, but they are saying that you're not doing this and that, you're not listening well, you're not you know, other things that you can do for them, taking them out. They can't put their stress on you. You don't help them maneuver through things of that nature. So, we were talking about people who have the emotional capacity and saying how important that is in relationships. Now, D, I'm done talking to you. I was saying how I have been in certain relationships and learning, just being a young girl and now being an older woman, knowing what those things are and what's more important in relationships. And I feel that when you're dating, it's more than chemistry. It is definitely the ability to love that person. People can have men, a lot of women have people in their life as placeholders where they're going to be your boyfriend and girlfriend for years, and you guys are going to go to movies and you're going to eat and you're going to hang out and do the friend thing and all that good stuff. But there's never going to be any succession on any other thing that comes from that, because maybe one or two don't have the capacity to move that relationship to the next level. I mentioned in relationships or in friendships, having emotional capacity could be not being able to communicate, having things lost in translation, always cutting somebody off, always what is it, speaking over someone, or not being able to listen. So that is what the topic is about. That is what I'm talking about. What kind of wine are you drinking tonight, D? Is it red or is it white? How about that? D says emotional capacity is important. A lot of hoes don't know how to truly love someone because they've been getting they back blown out too much. Wow. I need to stop putting these comments up. Thank you, D, for saying emotional capacity is important. The next question that I wanted to ask was, what is more important? Do people live on the chemistry, or are they actually developing and learning like to love, because I'm thinking that the long lasting relationships that people have is because people have the emotional capacity to sustain and deal with their partners. Sure, there are situations that may arise, whether it's good or bad, but you can definitely assume that all the bad situations the world doesn't know of in that relationship, but somebody has the fortitude and the emotional capacity to deal with it and to keep it going. I brought this topic up because earlier this week or last week there was, I don't know dude's name. Um Gosh, I don't know his name. I don't know, you can help me if you would like. Something Powell, Clifton Powell, black guy, African American dude for, in socially accepted terms. And it's Black History Month. In a lot of movies, he was talking about, on a round table with a bunch of guys, he was talking about his ability and capacity to love. And at the tender age of 69, he is now in a monogamous relationship. And it's the first relationship where he's been monogamous and where he's loved a woman correctly. In that same episode, prior to him speaking on that, or the content text for that, he preferenced how his father was born in 1915 or 1930. I'm sorry, or 1913. And so, so his grandfather was a slave, his father was a slave, and he says that those same generational things that people raise in their families, they imparted on him. And because the things they imparted on him, he wasn't able to actually be what is it monogamous in relationships. He didn't know how to talk or communicate with women. He didn't necessarily know how to love a woman correctly. And as I said, this man is actually 69, and that day, or 2 weeks ago, that day was the day that he said he had just learned to love correctly and what it all meant. He tied it all into like African ancient history, post traumatic slavery syndrome. And because of post traumatic slavery syndrome, he says that men and Black women weren't able to love correctly as well as receive love. He also said that Black women aren't a lot of Black women out here not able to love, and I believe that for both sexes. So basically, not able to have the capacity to love because they're just skills that wasn't taught to them. Because I don't want to say us, but to them. Um, and that man who was 69 was talking to a panel of younger men, 30s and however old, but many years younger than him. And of course, those men felt like it was an excuse. They also felt like he should have known that already. They felt like that as a 69-year-old man, he shouldn't have been waiting for a Black woman to show him how to love, to encourage him to go to therapy. He should have had all those things and all those skills put together. And they basically said that Black women are tired of taking and dealing with men of all races. And I'm sure all women of all races are tired of dealing with men who don't have the emotional capacity to love or to be correct in a relationship. Um, and it was to the point of where Clifton Powell was basically commending and saluting the women who he had dated in the past. He says that he had cheated on those women and they had taken him back numerous times. He probably talked to him crazy and they would take him back numerous times. And because of that, that made him love them more. So people take a whole lot, and then in the end, don't get anything. And that has to do with emotional capacity. Is it healthy to take all the things that you take also from people? I have someone in the back and I want to bring him up, but that is the reason why we have this topic tonight. Hi Lionel, how are you doing?
Evening, Roz.
I can't hear. 1 second. We always go through this, huh? Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
No. Let me try something else. Yeah.
You hear me? Oh, my
I
mic was.
always seem to have an issue with my Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now. Go ahead. Hi.
Evening, Roz.
Evening. Happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday.
I'm glad that you're up here because I can
Oh,
actually
snap.
sit and drink a little bit. But I have these wonderful questions tonight, and you, sir,
Interesting.
are here. So, Um, I'm not sure if you saw Dee's comment that I read. Dee also says that chemistry shit is some shit. Just because you both like smoke and play video games don't mean that's your wife. Dee, we be on the same page. I said that too. That they sounded stupid. I believe you were referring to Pal
Yes.
and Roz, niggas ain't taught to be emotionally available, and it's because black women really don't like sensitive niggas. See, this is where I knew it was going. Yes. Okay. Hi, Lionel. What do you think about tonight's topic? A painful gap between love and capacity. Have you ever been in some situations where you loved and didn't have the capacity to show up, or they were able to love you and they didn't have the capacity to love you correctly?
I don't know what that looks like, Roz. So I don't know I don't know how someone could love me correctly. I don't know what that looks like.
Do you know how you would like to be loved? Like in regards to communication, like if you're in a relationship with a woman and when you're talking to her, are you able to deal with a woman who may be have extremely high intense conversations where she speaks loud or she's flailing her arms at times or she's just overly excited?
I can deal
Or
with all of that
you can deal with all of that. Okay. So in communication, basically you can talk through any situation.
from experience. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever dealt with some women who couldn't accept communication from you, like things that you were saying that you intended to say for the progress of the relationship, but they may have taken it more defensively or aggressively?
Everything I say is intentional. But yes, just
Okay. D says as soon as we start doing all this soft shit, you hoes start acting up and seeing dudes as bitchs. Big facts. I didn't say that. D said that.
but he
Okay.
did.
So, what do you think on a topic? How about you tell me what you think on this topic, and I can ask you some questions, possibly.
You don't not, just ask me the questions.
Lionel, when you come up here, you don't want to get with the program.
I'm here.
You,
No, I want you to ask me the questions.
hmm
That's how we're
I
gonna
asked
talk.
you.
You have a lot of questions, but you asked me what I think about it. I do think
hmm
that that whole "I love everybody" stuff, that you gotta
hmm
get rid of that. But
hmm
I
Me?
respect it though. Yeah, you.
Mm.
But I respect you. I respect you.
Just because I love everybody, don't mean that I'm bringing everybody close to me or
I
in
know,
my.
but I didn't imply that. Didn't imply that.
Okay, I got it. You're right.
Um, I understand the capacity argument, but just like how Dee brought up, and
hmm
I roll my eyes at a lot of women today because when they bring up that whole emotional bull crap, they can't point at me to a bunch of guys who was learning that growing up in the last 30 years. That wasn't a topic. And a lot of women today
hmm
who are mothers or quote unquote single mothers who
hmm
raise their sons, I call bullshit if they say they taught their sons that also.
Taught them about emotional capacity.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would agree. Do you think that it would? Now you just said mothers. Do you think that fathers are needed for a man to learn emotional capacity?
well, if they didn't know how they gonna teach it. If I'm being strictly
Mm,
speaking, if they didn't know how they're going to teach it,
hmm
they're going to teach what was around. And a lot of these women, like the front, like dudes weren't around. They had Pookie and Ray Ray up and out the house. Most of these dudes grew up with their mom bringing 10 or 12 dudes in the house. So these dudes were showing something. But in terms
Mhm.
of that capacity, that these guys weren't learning that.
Mm. Okay. So how do you determine when someone's emotional tank is empty, even when they say they're fine?
How do you determine that?
So could
And
you maybe, yeah, because these dudes haven't learned these things, how as far as like the emotional capacity. So I'm guessing they possibly don't recognize when they're running on empty, and then they may don't have the ability to develop those skills. So can you recognize that when you're dealing with
in,
people or dealing
in
with women?
myself, yes, but I don't want to sound like I'm special. But you do run
Mm-hmm.
across a lot of people that they don't know until they know. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
until they put up with all type of stuff, or they put up with very little to where they're like, I'm done with this. I can't do it no more.
Mm-hmm. So you heard me referencing the I think what's his name, Clifton Powell. Do you know the
Something
guy?
like that. Yeah. I saw
Yeah,
I saw
Mr. Powell.
the
Okay, what did you think about that? He's 69 and he says that he's just now learning how to love correctly.
correctly was a
And
bad word to use. But
And he said, I'm sorry. He said due
go
to
for
post traumatic stress syndrome. He said due to post traumatic stress syndrome, that derailed him from the ability to love correctly because his grandfather and his father were slaves, and what he was taught was not to be able to communicate and deal with women, and to know that he needed to respect them in a way.
those sound like excuses, honestly. Those sound like excuses because we all navigate through life. And they're telling me it took you almost
We do.
70 years to learn how to come to correct. It
Mm-hmm.
does show how, it takes some people's brain is longer than the others. So I don't want to
Yeah.
sound completely harsh, but loving correctly, that's subjective.
Loving subjectively is what? I'm sorry.
Well, loving correctly is subjective
Oh, okay. Loving correctly is subjective. Okay.
because
Hmm.
the same way that you're
Hmm.
asking for love, another chick might be asking for love differently.
Okay. So, in regards to you, do you have the capacity to love correctly? Have you had a situation where you love deeply but did not have the capacity to meet the needs, communicate, have
Oh, hell yeah.
trust? And how
Hell
did
yeah.
that pan out?
She did not like the word no. The second you said no, mm-mm.
The fact that you said no,
When I said no, nope, that was a wrap.
and how did she react from that? I mean, like,
He said I'll get myself a sugar daddy.
oh
Go,
wow, wow,
go get him.
mm, oh, okay, okay, wow.
I told her
Mm.
she had to work. She didn't like that. And let me know. I've heard the conversations online where it's like, hey, guys be changing up, or you'll say you'll do this, but then you'll change up in a relationship. Nah, that relationship started with her having a job and me telling her
Mm,
she had to work. Then she got the
mm,
nice Peggy Bundy lifestyle for a little bit. But then I said, nah, you got to get your butt up. You had a break, time to work. And she was like,
mm.
no, get me a sugar daddy. I don't want to do that.
Wow, wow. Dee says when Roz was younger, she liked the roughnecks. She ain't want
I
no emotional
agree.
availability. We full of it. And men from Clifton's era should never be having table talks with men that exfoliate. I do agree. That boy he was talking to was sweeter than the bakery. So, in regards to Dee's statement, men, basically, women don't want men who are emotional available. I am guessing, Lionel, that you don't agree with that as well.
I'm 50-50. I gotta say,
Mm-hmm.
from
And
experience, and because remember, I be taking care of abuse victims, and I'll say this: when they're younger, like how Roz always talking about young her, no, they don't want that stuff at all. They want a toxic poop. They want some nigga named Glocktavius that's gonna rough rider them. But
mm-hmm.
when they get to current Roz's age, that
Mm-hmm.
mentality does split because a lot of these women are damaged and they do want that because they've
So,
all put up with 10 different dudes from Bad Boy Records.
okay now. Okay. That's a little rough.
But that's the reality. That a lot of y'all, this is why so many of y'all are in therapy. This is why, what's that data point? That every 1 in 3 women are on antipsychotics or antidepressants. Y'all got issues. And a lot of that deals with the fridge. Okay, I'll go look. And a lot of it has to do because you said it earlier. You dealt with like all these different dudes. Y'all put yourself in this situation where, I mean, these guys messed with y'all because y'all decided y'all wanted to choose that.
Well, I definitely agree with those things, but I think that as
Okay, you're
because
stupid. I got you.
when I'm thinking about 20 years ago, I'm thinking about what I knew of relationships to be. Because normally you just see the outside of a relationship. You see two people together, working, doing what they do. My parents, 30 plus years married. But I don't know the intimate intricacies of what's going on. But my dad had a job, he took care of a family, and all those kind of things. So I assume that's what you seek for a man. But in your younger 20s and stuff, men definitely ain't talking about raising kids and doing family. But you see on the outside, you see that they're stable and they can handle things. But in close proximities and in relationships, that's where stuff starts to fall. So I think for us women, it's more so of a definitely a learning experience so that when we do become this age, you know now what is more important. And it's definitely not chemistry, cars, and if he has a beautiful house and he's a what is it, high value dude. It's things like emotional availability, emotional capacity, integrity, character, and all of that stuff. Some of us know that in our younger years, but a lot of us don't. You know.
All I'm doing is clarifying what D was bringing up. It's not too rough because that is too many dudes' experiences.
Mm.
They see that these dudes that it's funny because a lot of these guys do have that capacity. It's funny because I think a lot of young men do have that capacity for that emotional intelligence without even being honestly taught that literally. They have that capacity. But what do you hear so many dudes saying that they saw you in high school with the 30-year-old dude, that they saw you as a
Oh, come
youngster?
on, Lionel.
Uh,
Come on now. Go
what do you
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. This is when I say you don't listen to the men talking because too many guys can tell you what do they see growing up. They saw as an 18, 19, 24-year old. They saw the chick, the women that are now talking about this whole emotional capacity or emotional intelligence and whatnot. Y'all were going after the dudes that was ready to chokehold you, the dudes that was ready to abuse you, rough you up, toxic as hell. That's what they saw you going for. Now y'all come in a decade later because y'all gained experience, y'all know better, y'all got slapped around enough that, slap some senses into y'all. Now y'all are saying, you know what? I don't like that. I want a guy like the dude I should have took 20 years ago. But guess what? He learned from experience too. Now he know it's better to be Future than Russell Wilson.
mm. Okay. Got you. Okay. I like that point. I like that point. Let me, I would say, speak on that. Let me get to this comment though. Let's see. Roz, niggas ain't okay. We did that. He says, as soon as we start doing all that stuff, you hoes acting up and seeing dudes as bees. Come on now, this guy, he is going off, ain't he? Okay, nigga, I got bitchs in my family that be crying about their husbands and they still with them. What you mean by that, D? Okay, when
No, no, no. He's speaking facts. He's speaking facts.
Ross era like niggas like old dog. Come on now, why is y'all tripping? And Lionel is speaking facts.
No,
Where the
like,
women at? We need another women's perspective. Exactly. Y'all got the I don't know where they at, y'all. They over there and got full vibe or something. If
wait,
there's a
say that again? I'm working. My
which
bad.
one? He was asking where the woman at. They need another woman's perspective.
But wait, hold on. But she was. You're saying you need another woman's perspective. But now
He
here's the
was
problem.
D
Roz.
was asking for that.
So, but I got to come at him. Not like too bad, but she's literally talking about a men's circle. How the men were talking. She's
Mm-hmm.
also challenging how the men were looking at certain things. And she's also saying, hey, I saw a married couple in my life that, hey, the dude did this and that. But the thing is, she's not telling us what the guy was saying, what he
Mm-hmm.
was actually thinking. Because again, I know married men too. They pull me to the side and they take care of their family. And what do they say? Don't get married. Don't do it.
Why?
They've been married 20 years. They've been married
Yeah,
30 years.
my dad would never say that.
You and I, you say that. And I've
My
seen
dad.
so many of you women say that. I've been on a panel where a guy literally championed the marriage, told me, hey, I was a fool. I need to do this. He came in my inbox an hour later and said, don't listen to shit he said up there. Do not do it. I have had so many married men. I'm 36. And since I was a boy, have all said the same thing almost universally. Don't do it. And these are people who have been married 17 years,
Mm.
20,
Is it
40.
about the legal ramifications
But
around it, or is it more so of just being locked in with this woman for life?
I
Like,
mean, I
like
guess
I on the social part of it.
I would argue you're asking the wrong question.
Okay, so what do you think I
Uh,
should be asking?
so I'm saying that because people equate that and they'll be looking at it like, okay, this is hypocritical. But this is where I say,
Mm.
like, if you're like the other week, you tried to come at me and tried to be like, it doesn't
Me?
matter the guy go to a female therapist or a male therapist. Yes, it do.
I
Because
didn't say that. Say that.
society will replay your show. Because society will
No, I
constantly shape
understand.
your
Mm-hmm.
society will shape your mind. Women will tell you that the ultimate way to show that you love me is to put a ring on me, make me yours.
Mm.
That is a psychological manipulative tactic that women do because that matters. Hence why I say the wedding matters to the women. Meanwhile, the marriage matters more to the man. Now, obviously, that's vague as shit. But,
So then I guess you would say that more men have emotional capacity. The more men have
oh,
emotional
oh
capacity
yeah,
than women.
absolutely.
Wow.
But women will sit here and think of the
Wow.
trauma. They'll think of what they got to go through, what they got to put up with. And they'll think about, oh my God, look at all this bullshit I got to deal with this guy. And he's not treating me right. Girl, who did you pick? Most dudes know that they picked they picked Peggy Bundy. Most chicks pretend they didn't pick Ted Bundy.
mm, 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 mm. Nah. I don't necessarily know yet what I think in regards to that. Who handles it well? who handles it well. Mm.
Just like Dee said,
Now,
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Just like Dee said about all those married women that be crying, even though they in a relationship, they married. You know, that I understand painting a picture of a happy situation. I can paint you pictures of happy situations. But when we bring up marriage and we're listening to the women talk, the women literally act like they haven't been listening to the manosphere for the last 5 years. The women act like they
But what
never
does
took
that
their.
mean?
Hold on, I'm prefacing it. The women act like they didn't take their son to the barber shop, or they didn't go to the barber shop with their boyfriend or their husband, that you never sat outside the basketball game. Y'all act like y'all don't
Hmm.
know what these guys have been saying. If you're in the black community, you
I
trying to tell me, go ahead.
I personally, Lionel, am new to what men have been saying because I grew up with all men and in the South, and it was like women be with women, men be with men. You don't need to be in spaces where men is and knowing what men doing. And so for me, when I saw YouTube, YouTube now is where I learned that men feel and experience. Of course, I do therapy in life, but prior to that, YouTube is where I now see the conversations that men like have and what they thinking of women and all that. But as far as that, for me, I am the kind of woman who I don't even want to know what y'all think. I just want to deal with men who I'm dealing with, and I don't know if that makes me close minded or whatnot, but I don't really be knowing like that. Besides the
So,
cliches, all men sleep with women and da 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 da. Other than that,
so D, if you're still here, listen to what she just said. This is why she does. We don't need another woman's opinion up here because she's giving us how a lot of these women be thinking right now.
every woman don't think like me
I didn't
though.
say
Like
every woman. I did not say that. I said
I don't think most
all
of them.
women. Huh?
You think most of them thinking like me?
A
Nah.
lot of them think like you, actually. Because a lot of them prior to these spaces, a lot of them was getting so offended and so mad because they weren't listening to what the men were saying to begin with.
Yeah, I
The
find it so.
For
Go ahead.
decades, the men have had no, they've had to listen to what you women were saying.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
Oprah. We had Jenny Jones, Oprah, all that. You never
all
even
of
see
them,
them
they
like
had to listen to y'all, but y'all didn't have to listen to them. Now,
that.
y'all are hearing them and are offended, so y'all are throwing all these gaslighting words out, you know. But the reality is, they just expressing their frustrations.
Mm.
And it sounds like
Yeah.
y'all are more of a headaches than y'all think y'all are.
Hey, well, you know what? I guess I'm not going to even say for the first time, but the love of my life always say that I never have a better or different understanding in this moment. You just said that they're just expressing their frustrations. I oftentimes see panel of men speaking on women. I see that a lot as complaining or not being experienced or not in the blows of life or the rites of passage that come with dating our woman. And maybe now, so when I see that, I see it as crying, like
I
you
got you.
crying, like now I can see that as explaining their frustrations because it's a lot of stuff. I promise you, it's a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And for myself, I didn't haven't. The man I live with now is the first man I've ever lived with in my life.
So,
So
Rob, I got to stop you. I got because this goes right back to your topic and your question. Because
mhm,
if the men, let me say it right this way, if the men have been listening to women for the last 40 years, even longer than that, but if the
mhm,
men have been listening, the men have been transitioning, the men have been changing for
mhm,
y'all. Because giving y'all exactly what you wanted. Y'all wanted men more in touch with their sensitive side. They did that. You wanted men to open up more. They did that. You wanted men to treat y'all like brothers. They did that. Y'all wanted
this
the men to.
conversation is not going where I thought it would go.
No, I'm saying
Keep going.
when you're talking about capacity, It's only proven my point that this entire last 5 years and the explosion of the manosphere or red pill, pick your poison, has quite literally showed the level of capacity of love that men have had for tolerating that shit for so long.
Mm,
Yeah, man,
mm.
I'm gonna keep it all the way on, man. What's up to y'all, man?
What,
What up,
what?
Rise? What up,
Hey,
Lionel, man?
D,
You
thank
know,
you for
appreciate you
joining.
letting me on the
Happy
panel.
Saturday.
Appreciate you letting me on the panel once again. You know, talk my shit. Does sound good.
You sound wonderful.
All right, so I just want to say this, man. Say, you know, you laughing, but this is a serious topic right here. You feel me? See, y'all are the reason why men don't want to talk. Y'all the reason why men are emotionally unavailable to y'all because see, when a man starts doing that, he starts speaking out and starts, you know, expressing himself and all that shit and talk about his fucking I don't know, it's fucking childhood trauma or some shit like
Yeah.
that that's been eating at him for the past 50 years or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like soon as niggas start doing that, y'all start getting disrespectful. And then y'all do not like that type of shit. Y'all do not like soft niggas, okay? Y'all like soft niggas to go to lunch with and fucking kiki with other you know what I'm saying? And laugh at other motherfuckers. Y'all like the faggot ass niggas. Y'all like them niggas to be your friends, but y'all don't like them niggas to fuck y'all. Y'all don't want to be in a relationship. Y'all don't want to be led by niggas like that. Y'all can't
Mm.
stand that shit.
Okay. So, D, welcome to the panel. Happy Saturday to you. And I think that I know how you feel about the
Nah,
topic.
look, man. See, we got to keep it real here, man. Especially black women, y'all do not like that shit. Okay, y'all see, and Lionel made a good point. See, when y'all young, y'all don't give a fuck about no nigga being emotionally available and all that shit. You just care about if the dick is hidden and if you know what I'm saying he got a place to stay. You know what I'm saying, got some money to take you out some places. You know what I'm saying. That's all y'all care about when y'all young. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't give a fuck about none of all that other shit
You
till
ain't
you get
lying.
old, and you get ran through and or have kids and or be fucking over 35. That's when y'all want a nigga to be like, oh, I want him to talk to me. I want him to treat me nice after getting your hair pulled and getting smacked around for the past 20 years. You get treated like old girl and baby boy. Remember that when he was on the
Yup.
phone? When she was
Yup.
on the phone and he bent over and started fucking. Yeah, y'all like that shit when y'all young, when y'all like 18, from 18 to 29. But once y'all get 30, it's like, oh no, I need something more. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I want that same activity. I want that same energy, bitch. Like I don't want to take your ass out on dates. Trying to hit from the back like old dude, bro. He took your
Yup.
ass nowhere in 5 years. Fuck.
Oh my God. Okay, D. Um, really? I really like what you said.
Really though.
I really like what he said because everything he described was on point. I could understand it from a personal perspective. Not that I had numerous to do,
No, we
but
know.
Yeah, we know, Roz girl. You ain't gotta try to act up. You know what I'm saying? You
but
like them Master P ass niggas, them March niggas, step ass niggas back in '97. So fuck out of here.
I did not. I did not. But I did want somebody who I thought like I thought chemistry was emotional capacity. And I think that's what a lot of people confuse it with, thinking that because y'all get along, because y'all share the same interests, that y'all will be able to work together. But normally if you're in a relationship and living with somebody, you see things differently. And in my younger years, I've never lived with anybody. So I wasn't dealing with dudes like they was, anyways, I didn't really have the time, I don't think, to deal with a man's emotional capacity. And you're right, D. If a dude came to me wanting to talk about his feelings and all of that than when I'm
Man,
25,
look,
26.
look, I don't mean to cut you off, but this needs to be said. All right, Rise girl, y'all
Go ahead.
don't like that shit. Okay, you look, I like Lionel said in the comment section. I know I got women in my family right now that be bitching and moaning about their husbands all the motherfucking time.
all
When
the
I was on Facebook, they used to make subliminal shots at these niggas doing all this bullshit. Right? And guess what? They still with their ass. You know why? Because the woman's brain is just programmed to like motherfucking chaos. Y'all like that bullshit. Y'all just like to complain and shit. Y'all like to be in a motherfucking soap opera or something. Like, oh my god, this nigga is doing me so wrong. Well, why don't you just leave, bitch? Nah, you don't want to leave because you like the drama that comes with it. All right, and you know what I'm saying, niggas is not falling for that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? It's too late in the day now. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is not getting ready to be so quick to say these hoes like they was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, because you know now niggas got some sense. You feel me? So see, these bitches need to get in line and understand that you can't be you have to.
You ne- D, C, I can't let you go off like that. Bitches, get in line. Come on now.
So, Roz, I do want to point out something you
Go
said,
ahead,
and
D.
you
Can we
brought
let
up.
D finish?
Go ahead.
Nah, I wanted to say
Go
this.
ahead,
Like
D.
see, what I'm saying is this, man. See, y'all gotta stop being so disingenuous. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting a man that is emotionally available and all that other bullshit, right? But just don't disrespect the nigga when he does that shit. There's a clip going viral right now where this nigga was
Mm-hmm.
arguing with his woman on some show. I don't know who the fuck these niggas are. I don't even know what the whole point is. She brought up some shit that she wasn't supposed to bring up in the argument. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all women do when niggas open up to you. Y'all bring up the shit that we just told you about, that we sensitive about. You throw it in our fucking face when you get mad. That's why niggas don't like doing that shit. All right, because we know what comes with it. Y'all just be having that shit in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what I'm saying, when you get mad, oh, I'm gonna shoot that out, shoot that bullet out the chamber. Yeah, that shit said to man, fuck all that opening up shit. Nigga, open up the guide. You know what I'm saying? Open up the guide.
Mm.
Don't open up to these bitches,
Okay.
man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that, man. Don't open up to these women, man. Open up the guide.
Okay, D. So have you ever had a situation where you were in love with somebody, but you didn't have the
Well, first of
emotional
all, I ain't
capacity to
never
love
been in
them?
love with shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that first off right now. I ain't never been in love with shit. You know what I'm saying? I love women, but I'll never be in love with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you need to change that when you talking about a nigga like me, cause I ain't doing that type of shit. A nigga is not getting down on no bending knee, fucking proposing and all that shit. I feel like that's some idolatry shit that's been made up by Western civilization to put the woman on a pedestal, and that don't need to be going on. You know what I'm
I agree.
saying? So my thing is this, like, what was the question?
I said, have you ever had a situation with a woman where it was good, but she just didn't meet up emotionally, like couldn't communicate, didn't have the tools for y'all to operate as a relationship did, since you don't love women?
I've been with plenty of, you know what I'm saying, girls that are just cool to, you know what I'm saying, just hang out with. You feel me? But as far as like being in a relationship, I know that wouldn't be good because, they too harsh, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like that was a real that's been some real situations, you know what I'm saying, that I was talking about in the comment section, bro. There's been plenty of girls, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We could chill, we could chill, we could smoke, we could drink, we could do all that stuff. But as far as us being in a relationship, I can never see that happening because you don't exhibit the type of characteristics that I want with a woman. You know what I'm saying? I want more than just hanging out and kicking it and shit. You know what I'm saying? And fucking. You know what I mean? Like we gotta be able to have some type of other interest. You know what I'm saying? You have
Mm-hmm.
to. You know what I'm saying, like, be able to follow my lead. And like girls like that.
So
I mean, they're cool. What?
how are you able to recognize that these women aren't on your program like that?
Because the way that they just carry themselves and how they act. and also the things that they
Mm,
watch and the things that they listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm gonna be honest
mm.
with you. You know what I mean, like, I smoke weed here and there, but I would never want to really be with a woman that smokes weed like that. You know what I'm saying? Because a
Oh
lot of them
shit!
hoes be real manly. You know what I mean? You cool, Roz girl. You the exception. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the exception.
Oh,
But
thank you.
I'm talking about from my perspective, from what I've dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Girls that smoke weed,
Uh-huh.
they're very manly. You know, girls that drink a lot, they're very manly. Girls that just do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things like that, you know what I mean, that lets me know that she really ain't gonna really be on my program. And if she always, if I say something, all right, if I say something, I don't always want some lip back. All right, just shut the fuck up and go on what I said. All right, like, and now you ain't always got to just be saying shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to just let me have it. Okay, I can't stand hoes to be doing that type of shit. I always just got something to say. Just shut the fuck up. Like, I'm talking, and
Wow.
I know that can kind of come off as kind of harsh, but I don't mean like,
Oh
I'm
no.
just talking about just all the time, just anytime I say something, it's always a debate with your ass. Like, I can't stand them type of bras. That's why them bras that be having all the master degrees and all these PhDs and all that shit. That's why it's hard for them to get a man, because they always want to argue with shit, debate, and try to get their point across. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and let the nigga win the shit? All right, just follow nigga lead sometime.
Oh wow.
Right,
Oh wow.
you know what I'm saying? But I love black women. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cool. You feel me? It's just certain things about y'all just gotta, you know what I'm saying, clean up. But as far as like the topic goes, Rise, I'm gonna throw you in there again. You was not out here looking for niggas. Oh, I want him to be emotionally available. I want him to listen to me and just take care of me. And you was not looking for that. All right, you know you wasn't. That's why you laughing and shit right now. Back in '99, you was on some Trina shit. You know
I
it.
was. I mean, I was listening to Trina.
You know you was.
Lila, you said you had something you wanted to say. Go ahead.
So you brought up earlier about the what did you say? It was the chemistry thing. And I noticed you brought up a few times, but you also brought up, talking about people and expectations. This is where I gotta flip the narrative and ask, are you not really just talking about women? Because you're not telling me you've met a whole bunch of dudes talking about I don't have chemistry with a girl, or I'm looking for a chick to have chemistry with. That's
Yeah,
what women say.
I have met men who have
I
said they're
said a
looking.
bunch of men. Notice the wording. You're not going to tell me
Okay,
you met a
I'm not
bunch
gonna say a
of men.
bunch of men because I don't deal with a bunch of men. So men I've come with in life. I mean, like I've not a lot. I haven't heard a lot. I will not. I will agree. I have not heard a lot, but the conversation is two men and women about is chemistry more important or the capacity. But from my perspective, I've heard more women say that they're seeking chemistry and they're seeking like all the surface things, but it's never I want somebody to communicate with me well. I want him to be there for me when I'm emotionally weak or if I never hear those things of what it takes. I always hear the surface stuff.
And
So
so I'm bringing that up because just like you brought up what you grew up with, I
mm,
a lot of the married couples, and I mean a lot that I talk to, when I talk to the men, they always have the one universal thing. They don't have nothing in common with the chick they're with. Their likes are completely distinct from each other. Now, obviously, they share a goal and they make
mhm,
each other happy,
mhm.
however you want to call it, but they've maintained that longevity, but they don't have almost anything in common.
Oh wow, I could see that working though because I think that it takes more than just love and chemistry. You learn that once you're out here dating that it's way more than that. Don't you? Don't you agree?
Yeah.
My mom and dad have, they like sports and stuff. But other than that, they ain't got nothing in common. She be in the house and he be in the garage, 8 hours for like 4 or 5 hours a day. Then they go to sleep. Yes, that's love. Wow.
See, niggas
Wow.
didn't need to do all that shit with women back then. You don't have to be all emotionally available and have to do all that other shit, man. Like niggas just had to be niggas back then. Men just had to be men, and that's what y'all
Mm,
expected of us to be men. Y'all ain't expect us to motherfucking talk about our feelings over at the dinner table, all that bullshit. Fuck wrong with y'all, man. See, that's why I miss the All in the Family niggas, man. I miss what was his name, Archie Bunker. That was his name, nigga. I miss niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? I miss women that acted like her. You know what I'm saying? Just shut the fuck up and let me be the king around here. All right.
And Rob, were any of these conversations recently?
uh-huh. Go ahead. What did you say?
Were any of these conversations with these men recently?
Oh
The ones
yeah,
that talked about
definitely.
chemistry.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've
So,
heard people,
so, so you
men to
mean
me, have told me. I've heard a couple of men to me tell me they we don't got no chemistry. Da 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 da. Da.
now?
But
Wait,
I,
this was in person?
huh?
Was this in person? Like helping people?
Yeah, yeah.
So when I hear that, and I know the area that you be at,
Uh
it
huh.
points to D's point because that's a lot. You live around a lot of fruity dudes.
In DC.
Yes. Remember, I used to live there too.
How dare you say that on these social media? Go ahead.
I used to live there too. I know
Uh
what's around.
huh. I don't be seeing no fruity dudes like that around
I
here,
don't
like black
pay
men.
attention personally.
Huh?
I don't think you're paying attention personally. That place is
I'm not on the street.
loaded.
I have to. I'm not on the streets like that. I don't know.
It's loaded. Again, as someone who grew up in the DMV and used to live there, I'm telling you.
Mm, yeah. Oh my God. Are you implying that if a guy says that, then
Why would a man talk about chemistry, Ross?
because these men now in today's
Ain't no these
society
men now.
are a little bit more influenced by women in the things that they say now, I guess.
But they've always been influenced by women, though. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
I don't really know because maybe that's where it stops, but maybe that's where it stops for that particular person. They
I got.
may believe that if they have chemistry in a relationship, it will survive. When the
I,
problem may be the capacity, and they don't see the problem
so I
that
want to
they're.
point out. So I want to point out when I listen to old folks talk, and
Mm-hmm.
when the women just give themselves away, when they
Mm-hmm.
sit here and tell me, yeah, back in my day, my dad he used to walk 10 miles to get to work. He'd work 16-hour shifts. He worked 6 days a week, and then I'm sitting here thinking, all these old dudes used to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Who were raising the children?
Who do you think raising these women?
The women. But the women today are like, well, no, see, we're influencing them a little bit more. No, you're influencing them wrong.
Mm.
That's the real answer. You're influencing them wrong. Y'all have decided we want our men to be soft.
Yeah, man. Like, see, that's why you know what I'm saying. That's what I be saying. Like, y'all just want men just to be all soft and shit. Niggas is not doing that, man. Niggas is not trying to be all soft and all cuddly and all that shit, man. We not Kirby, okay? Like, we not
See,
doing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
I
don't even
know.
respect that. No, no, no. Y'all don't respect that. You don't respect that. If your man, Rise Girl, if your husband started doing that soft shit right now, you start rethinking some things. All right? Like just let's just keep it real. Like you are not trying to be this nigga therapist, not trying to be a psychologist and all that shit. Ain't none of y'all trying to do that shit, man.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
gee,
Men are supposed to be the strong ones in the relationship. We supposed to lead shit. How niggas supposed to lead shit? He be crying all the motherfucking time.
gee. I actually just
So,
talked.
are you saying that men
Wait,
are
wait, wait, wait,
crying
wait,
and
wait,
women be with
guys, hold on.
that
I was talking to D. Hold on.
person? Oh, say.
D, I just talked to a professional also who brought a male. He brought up that what you just brought up about how women ain't trying to be their man's therapist. And they brought up how that's just a cop out for women not wanting to fully love their man, not fully wanting to respect their man. And so many women say that crap. I'm not your mom. I'm not your therapist. That in itself is showing y'all a lack of capacity for love, where too many dudes will be your therapist because they have the greater
Oh my
capacity.
god. Oh my god. Y'all are killing me tonight. Like I did not expect this from this conversation. Like
But this is
I
on
have
topic.
someone in the back. Huh?
This is on topic
I
though.
just didn't know. Yeah, like the it's like the consensus of what the men are saying, and I'm just hearing that women lack emotional capacity and they don't want men to have that, and we front and when we ask that. I have someone in the back. I definitely want to bring him up. He is a guy who always talk about what is it, sucker free nation. So I'm sure
Man,
he
shout out to
definitely
Kevin.
has
Yeah,
some
shout out
information.
to Rush, bro. What up, Rush?
Yo, what's good? Salute, salute,
Man,
salute.
that's bracken.
Even
Yo, what's good, D man? I
Hey,
ain't seen you in a long time, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. I be on your shit, bro. Sometimes, man, you don't be saying nothing to me though.
I don't be seeing you in the chat.
No, I
If I
do
would
be
have
in the
seen,
chat, bro.
I never see you. I always see Raz Girl though.
I'll be there support.
But yo, if you
I've
did
seen
show up in
people
the
in the
chat,
chat. So.
I didn't see my bad, bro. I don't be seeing you.
Nah, I
But
be
you,
liking all this shit though.
I appreciate it, bro. I
No
appreciate it.
problem.
Hey, Rush, thank you for joining. Happy Saturday to you.
Happy
Tonight's
Saturday to
show
you
is
too.
about tonight's show is about the painful gap between love and capacity. So we're talking about people being able to love you, having the ability to love you. Like they can love the world out of you, but don't have the ability to love you correctly. And the men on the panel here are saying that the women more so lack emotional capacity. Do you have anything to say in regards to that?
When you say emotional capacity towards the female, like they don't have enough emotional capacity, what do you mean by that?
With men, they don't have the emotional capacity to love them correctly as far as like communicate with them in relationships, listen to them, meet them where they need to be met, listen to
Oh
the
yeah,
man
yeah, that's
emotional
that's
needs. The man
that's
when
accurate.
we ask
That's
for that,
totally accurate.
yeah. He says
Yeah.
that when the men say that when we ask for that, we don't want that, and when a man shows up emotional, we call that weak and crybaby-ish.
Well, here's the thing. Most women are very self-centered, so they're not catering towards what the man needs. Like because of their because of them being so self-centered that they don't have the ability to cater to their man, and that's most women in today's day. You know.
Wow. So you believe that most women are self-centered.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Wow.
yes,
Wow. So I mean, like when I hear the word woman, I often think of a sweet, delicate vessel who's nurturing and supportive and will give you hugs and things of that nature. When
I
you
know
guys
such
hear
thing.
woman, y'all don't think of that? Y'all don't feel that?
I'm gonna tell you what a wise man told me. You can't turn a wolf into a house pet, man. Or he's wrong.
Oh,
so
yo, I am totally surprised tonight. Like I just really thought it was more love between us men and women.
Nah,
Rob,
man,
Really
no such
did.
thing, man. A woman doesn't have the ability to love a man. She only loves the man only on certain conditions. If he doesn't meet those guidelines, then it's on to the next. Hypergamy on steroids. You heard?
Roz, can
So
you
you
give
don't think
me
that
that?
that's the same way? Go ahead,
Can you
Lionel.
give me that explanation? Can you tell me what when you said when you see a woman, what was the trait you brought up again?
I said I believe that they are warm, sweet, nurturing, supportive, will give you some hugs. That's what I think of when I hear
Yeah, have you
woman.
ever heard of the halo effect?
Yes.
So, and well, that's not a positive. So the halo effect literally explains those traits about women And they say that's why it's a blind spot to where we miss a lot of female predators because that's exactly the mentality people have when it goes to females. And so it
Mm-hmm.
ignores the basically the evil traits of them.
Mm.
Well, I don't see that when I see women at all.
Wow. I am completely appalled at you guys tonight.
But
So go ahead.
but you're not arguing back though. Not
I'm
arguing
definitely
that.
I'm not arguing facts because I don't know most women, but I know myself,
But
and I
you
know
do know,
the complaints that
but you
men
do
have
know
said
patterns though.
are exactly the things that you guys are saying, and I am just like, wow,
You don't have to know most women to understand patterns though.
yeah,
You
true,
do work in the mental field, and working in that means you have to be able to operate and talk to certain types of people. You guys
true,
can really classify people in groups. So based on that mental need, you can there's 50 of these people who got that exact mental need and you know how to talk to them. It's no
yeah,
different than a
I love
teacher.
it.
A teacher is able to teach 30 students at once, and maybe
Mm,
one or two might need a different teacher, but they're trained to teach a collective group of people because their mind is going
mm.
to operate the same way. So, why is it different that when he's bringing up how self centered women are, now it's I don't know most women?
Well, because when I am dealing with people, it's more so not about these particular topics and situations in relationships. You never really know what people are dealing with in relationships until they speak on it. I don't know what. Trust me, I'm completely oblivious. Like, like
And that's
I, I am. Oh wow, wow. So Rush, I asked Lionel, who does he think, which gender has emotional basically practices or has emotional capacity, the ability to practice emotional capacity well or better. And Lionel thinks that men do it well. What do you
Lionel's totally 100% correct.
think?
Men have the ability to uh have empathy, compassion towards other people. A woman, they don't have that ability because they're so self-centered.
Oh, come on, Rush. Women have the ability to be
No, no, they
nurturing,
don't.
to be empathetic, all of that
They don't.
naturally
That's
because
not
that's what
true.
one does.
No, the only way a female will have any form of like empathy towards another person if that person has any connection towards her. Like if she's a halfway decent human being, like she'll have empathy for her mother, her father, her immediate family. But anything outside of that, nah, she doesn't have the ability to do that. Most women, most women are self-centered and they don't have the ability to have empathy for other people. That's most women.
Wow. Okay, Rush. So since you say that's most women, have you ever been in a situation or a relationship where you love someone deeply, but she didn't have the emotional space to love you correctly or love
So
you well?
there's no such thing. And plus, you know me, Raz, I'm sucker free. I'll never put myself in a predicament where, a woman's not fully enamored towards me. Know what I mean? I'm sucker free. You heard?
Okay. Okay, Rush. So, do you think that the father or the mother teaches a man emotional capability of emotional availability?
And this is why I
Capacity,
stress I stress to young men whenever uh they engage with a female and have kids. I always tell them like, yo, if you're gonna have a female to bear your children, you got to make sure she's a good person. You know what I'm saying? Because the first 5 years of the child's lifespan, he learns everything for the mother. So if the mother's a piece of crap, the child's gonna become a piece of crap. So it's important for you to find a woman that's halfway decent if you're gonna have kids with them. Know what I mean?
Mm. I need some women up here because you guys, I guess y'all don't. Do you guys, y'all not seeking love in long time and lifetime relationships, huh?
There's no such thing, Raz. There's no such thing as that the L word. That's not a real thing.
What?
Nah,
What? You don't think that people love outside of familiar, like family love?
nah, not women, especially women.
No, you. I know you up here for like shock. That you got to be kidding me, Rush. Are you serious?
Um, Raz, how long you knew me? You knew me for quite some time now.
I have known you for a very long time. I always hear you talk about sucker free, but I'm sure you've experienced love.
There's no such thing, Raz. The the
Lo-
the type of the type of love you're talking about doesn't exist on Earth. You can only get that in the heavenly realms, next to the heavenly Father. Know what I mean, you're not gonna get that from mankind.
So I think this here is the roadblock because in regards to emotional capacity and emotional availability, Rush and yourself do have emotional capacity to deal, to communicate, deal with like problems, manage it, and all that. But the availability of opening up and giving yourself to someone doesn't seem like that's a willingly thing that you guys do or most men would do at all. Hmm. There
It's
lies
not.
the
It's not.
problem.
That's not the case. Raz. Through life experience, men, they see certain patterns, they accept it for what it is, and they'll move accordingly. Especially myself. You know what I mean?
Rush, you're awesome. Okay. Okay. Mm. So no relationships, no believing in love, no need to have it. Sorry. Let me catch myself back. In your friendships, do those operate well with emotional capacity? Like your homeboys? Like men seem to always be really friendly with other men, comfortable with their homeboys and all of that. And don't ever seem that happy or comfortable around their own women that they call ladies. Like, and I
Well,
guess that's
let me tell you why. That happens
go ahead.
because the ma- the man is expected to perform at any given cost. Whether if he's sick, unhappy, he needs to perform, or he would not be seen deemed as a worthy man or husband. I mean, so that kind of pressure he has around his lady is not the most comfortable feeling in the world because he has to perform.
Okay. Okay,
So
Rush. Now that was good.
so you make that.
So when other men link up and they bonding, it's a genuine thing because they all understand the um uh the perseverance of enduring so much bullshit with a woman. They all understand that, and that's why they're able to bond so well. So when you see other men bonding, that's because it's a sense of relief because they can't be that vulnerable and real with their significant other because they have to perform.
Mm.
So Roz, you
And do
asked the question. You
but are
asked
you
the question.
performing or just go ahead, Lionel? Go ahead.
You asked the
Thank you,
question,
Rush, for
Roz.
that.
But I want to know why you think that is. Without using Russia's example, I want to know why you think that the men seem to be more comfortable. What was your initial thought on why they seem more comfortable around the homies than their own girl?
More so I just assume because of gender incomfortability. They're just conversations that you can have with your homeboys and friends that you can't have with your girl. And I only assume that because of me as a woman, I could talk to my homegirl a certain kind of way that I wouldn't talk to my man. I want to show up for him in a certain. I want to present myself to him in a certain kind of way. So the language that I would use with my homegirl and shit, I wouldn't necessarily ever speak around him. So that's all that I'm thinking of. But I think that it seems like men. Rush says perform have to perform around a woman, but isn't that just like being responsible? Are the responsibilities of that man for that woman?
See, that's how you look at it.
Damn.
See, you looking at it like, yo, that's it's a mandatory thing for him.
Damn.
But see, a woman, they don't have the ability to like, yo, what kind of stress does he deal at his job? Y'all don't even look at it like that. Y'all look at it like, yo, he needs to bring in that bread. I'm saying,
See, and that's what tonight's show is about: finding out how you reach them like that for emotional capacity. Because I think that women do want to be
no,
there
they
for the
don't. They
man
don't
in that
care.
way.
As
I
long
think
as the
more
man
women do.
performs, as long as the man performs, they don't give a fuck about anything else. Part of my French. That's what matters. He
Mm-mm,
needs to perform.
mm-mm.
See, when I hear that,
I think that's
Roz,
just
so when I hear that, Roz, I'm sorry, because that's not, it's not resonating. Because growing up and being around women, y'all weren't advocating for men to have their own podcast. Y'all weren't advocating for men to be in these group conversations so y'all could hear what they were talking about, or wanting to really hear what they were saying in the basketball on the basketball court, back at a house, on, barber shop. Y'all were not looking for that. Y'all wanted the women to be championed. Y'all wanted to be acknowledged for all the crap y'all were doing. When the men did start showing their own spaces, y'all complained or looked at the men as just complaining and bitching instead of just trying to listen to understand, most of you. Like, I don't think y'all want that, because reality shows differently. And like I said, y'all are constantly, you'll say, what do y'all say now? You need to go see a therapist, when y'all know the majority of them are women. It's manipulation
wow.
tactics, and it's not resonating with what's coming out of your mouth right now. I'm not resonating with it because I don't see it in reality.
So I definitely understand what you're saying, and true to speak, I think that as women age and get older, they realize what's more important just because of where they're at in life, relationship wise. Like I said, I can speak for myself. Growing up, I just thought that, love was roses and petals, and I didn't think about the work that goes into it because people don't tell you about that, and you don't necessarily learn certain things like that. I grew up in the house with four uncles. I had seven brothers, so showing up for them as the sister, I wanted to present myself as a particular type of woman, so they in turn would see certain qualities and stuff and things in women. On a personal level, I was told certain things as a woman to, when you're with your man, don't ever like emasculate him, let him make the decisions, da da da, whoop de whoop de whoop. Now, in regards to like communication, you should communicate with him like this. You should listen to him like this. Never. I don't remember conversations like that. And my dad didn't even act in that way. Like he just was always masculine, and whatever conversations they shared in the bedroom, my parents, I would never know. So I just think that people miss that point or miss being taught that, at least women, at least from my perspective. And then as you get older and you seek more things like emotional fulfillment and stuff, and the sex and the toys that this man has is no longer fulfilling you, that's when you start to realize that. But I don't think that men realize that either, because men don't feel like they have the freedom to be emotional.
Did you not
So
hear what I said earlier, Roz? I broke
what?
that down for you.
Huh?
I broke this down for you earlier.
What you say?
Rise. This when I young boys literally are showing you that emotional capacity that you're talking about long before these young girls are showing. And the more they grow up, what do they see? They see these young girls going after these older men. They
Come
see
on,
these
you got to
young
stop.
girls. They see. I'm not. I'm dead serious. You see the young girls
Women
going
are
after
faster than men.
the Glocktavius and the Raheem and the Deshaun and the Derek, the Pookie and Ray Ray. You see them going for that. So the dudes are literally saying, "Damn, I'm here with all this love," but they want the dude ready to choke them.
Okay,
But then
but
y'all get
still,
y'all again. Y'all grow up. Y'all get to like 40, and then y'all are like, "Damn, I wish I would have had that dude that was emotionally available. That had that emotional capacity to love me."
men aren't never presenting usually emotional availability and capacity. Men usually present themselves stoic. It wasn't until
Not when you go for the thugs, of course
2010
they're not.
that they come up now saying, "Oh, I need that." Because men now are asking for hugs and asking for you to listen to them and everything, and that's a lot for a
That's
woman.
not true. That's not true, Raz. Most dudes, I say about 70% of dudes are they have a marriage mindset because of the because most women want to seek the top 10 percenters. You know, they're those guys are overlooked. You know what I mean?
Just
So a lot
the
of times, a lot of
emotionally available people are the 70%. That's what you're saying. Those men.
I didn't catch that. What you said, Raz?
You're saying the emotionally available men are the 70%.
Yeah, yeah, they're the average guys that most women look over.
70%
Yeah,
because we're all going after the same man who is like
right.
high value and this and that, and it's not a
Well,
lot
it's
of
not. It's not
available.
not even just high value. The um like the gentleman was saying earlier, the Pookies and Ray Rays or whatever, like they also considered within that percentage too, because all women they don't they, women have different motives. They might
Mhm,
want to see, they might want to link up with a dude that's like chiseled up, real
mhm,
aggressive, able to to bust his hammer and know how to get money in the streets. Then you got
mhm,
other women that like the clout, you know what I mean, and then
mhm,
you got the other women that just they love the money. So
mhm.
every female is different, whatever motive they have to link up with the dude. There's a motive behind that, and most likely she wants to link up with the dude that's able to knock up multiple women. You know what I'm saying?
So, Rod, to his point, and I'm being real, and I gotta find the video link. There was this seminar, and it was six guys that was there, and they was talking to these six guys because among these six men, they had 88 children with a good amount of different women.
Oh my God.
Because y'all know, women's love to say that these men are out here just messing with anything or whatnot. When this
Mhm,
seminar quite literally proved the opposite, that too many of you women are literally going after just this handful of group, these handful of guys. They had a thing in Tennessee where 100 of the children, the fathers were three people. And notice was not a cult, but there was a cult example also. But three
mhm,
guys fathered 100 children among numerous of different women. So when you're sitting here trying to tell me how there's all these different women, they're looking for different things. The reality is showing you something very different.
mhm. But when people present themselves and show up, most times they have already smashed, had sex, and might be pregnant already. When people show themselves to you, they present you like this, presentation of who they possibly will be. But acting that out, having that emotional capacity throughout the relationship is completely different. So I do understand what you're saying, but I think for men and women, they get stuck at the chemistry part and not working through the relationship. So it's not
What
just
dude
necessarily
is talking about
these men
chemistry?
Because it's not just women just letting men just lay with them. Because men should also not just lay with
Guys,
women who are
guys,
producing babies by
guys,
all
don't you don't you know 70% of men are virgins? Don't you know that?
Oh, shut up, Rush. You are not being honest right now.
I'm. You can look this up.
Okay,
Oh no.
so Roz, to what he's trying to tell you is that they've done numerous censuses that have shown that only 46% of men have ever fathered a child, and
Okay,
this is
I
as
can
long as
believe
they've
that.
done a census. They're
I can
telling
believe
you,
that.
they're telling you that most of these guys, and you know, a lot of people don't really use condoms. Most of
Hmm.
these guys out here are not getting vagina, which means a lot of you women are messing with the same dudes.
What the fuck? Yo, I didn't come up here for this tonight. Thank God I'm not in the street. Thank God. Thank God. Okay. Wow. Ladies, you are hearing it tonight. These men's true feelings in regards to emotional capacity and emotional availability. We should in turn listen to what the men are saying tonight, as well as offer our sentiments and what we may need to. Thank you so much for joining the reason with Roz Girl. We have Lionel on the panel and we have Rush on the panel. Wow. So Lionel, you're saying that 40% of men have children. So that leaves 60 plus men out there available and they're being passed around by us women.
You
That could be
women,
why.
you women are choosing to sleep with the same dudes,
Mm, mm, mm.
and
Oh
these aren't the
God.
dudes that. And like for me, I don't like Rush corrected because I don't generally just say high value guys. I know a lot of dudes who are deadbeats or don't have a stable job or even a place, and yet they got 10 different kids,
Mhm.
10
Wow.
different baby mamas.
Wow.
So that's 10 different women
Yep.
and
Yep.
one guy.
Hmm. But we know it's not about making relationships last. It's just about the action in the moment. Then, wow, that's terrible. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying that just looks terrible to me.
But that's
Wow.
reality, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. It is what it is, you know.
I mean, so do you think that most men share the same sentiment that they can't reveal themselves to women? They only can be more, I guess, vulnerable with their homeboys.
Well, what it's not
Um,
not vulnerable. It's just that they have a common thing, and they all have to perform. They know if they don't perform, there's repercussions that come with that. Not performing for their how can I put it, for their leech, would be
so
their
you think
woman.
Do you think that there is do you think that men should be more available to women? Like, do you think that we should be more welcoming to men being more emotionally available to women?
No, because you're not designed to be with an emotional man. You're designed to be with a man that's able to hold it down.
Now, when you say emotional man, I'm not speaking of emotional man. I'm speaking of a man with emotional intelligence who can handle life's issues and problems that come and who can, communicate that. You're saying that
Okay,
that man,
so what you mean by saying that is a guy that's able to be stoic. That's what you really mean.
yeah, I mean, well, if that's what you describe a man who is
Yeah,
emotionally
that's how I'm
intelligent
taking it.
and
What you mean,
has
what you just explained. So
yeah,
That's
yeah,
not.
and you, by you saying that, proves my point. Like, women don't give a fuck what a man feels or what he goes through. He needs to perform, or it's over.
I am
oh
curious,
wow.
Roz. How many men, and at this point, you've definitely heard it, but how many men are literally telling you that they understand that if they show emotion the way y'all asking, y'all not putting up with that? or so many guys have put out experiences where they've done what y'all asked and y'all went and messed with Pookie, or y'all started losing respect for him. So when you have all these guys
So I,
constantly telling you this, when do y'all listen?
and I can understand that because I often hear that women don't show up for men when they're emotionally available. So my question is, how should the woman show up for men when they're emotionally available? Because
But
I
that's
don't
the
have an
thing.
answer for your question.
But the problem is you're creating a question that actually does not have an answer. That's what he's trying to say also, because y'all can't. Because y'all are self-censored, it's about
Man,
you. It's about you.
how
How
you
this
guys
dude to
are
be
out of
this
control.
dude to be depressed, and you'll make it about your feelings. This dude is trying to
Oh,
think about his day, and you'll make it about your day.
I think you guys have a negative perception of women.
But I'm
No, it's the
okay, but I'm
truth,
telling you,
guys.
this is what married men are literally saying.
Wow. I mean, so okay, so like, but you guys aren't giving me any type of characteristics. Like, you're saying that we don't accept men who show up when they want to be emotionally available or have a level of emotional capacity. We don't accept them. And you're saying a lot of men, I've heard a lot of men, even my own, say that when men show their emotions, we laugh, we say they're crying, and all of that. How should women accept that? Like, what should they do? Lionel?
Actually, you asking a question. I actually am curious because you do this. I get it because you in that therapist mentality. But I'm curious. How do you think women should approach this situation? Since you've
Me,
heard us say this,
me personally,
okay, go for it.
because I'm guessing this is a problem worldwide, and I thank God that I'm not the only one who has to deal with hearing this. I think that I okay, I think that is something new for women, at least in my age group,
Okay.
to see men speak on what you described as frustrations that they have with women or in life. And women my age or in my age group or generation see that as complaining. And we often speak on it. Oh, he crying. Oh, we shut down. Oh, it's too many men saying this, doing this. So I think that we need to learn how to accept it and welcome it by first not shaming the man or making him feel less than a man for opening up or talking about his emotions. Um,
Can y'all
and
do that?
I think that that's possible, and I think that we should listen without um trying to have a resolution or solve it. I think that men are more so problem solvers and solution based. So if a man is revealing his emotions or is talking about something that's hard for him, I think more so if he's coming to a woman, it's because he just wants to be heard, and we should just listen without emotion. In my film, in my regard, that's what I think.
So my
You know,
I gotta say, and I've said this before because you hear me make the examples. When I listen to women basically say that this is kind of new, I think about what you just brought up also, because the men will tell you, and we take it as comedy, right? But Married with Children, big ass sitcom, constantly showed you the complaints dude had with women. Chris Rock, Bring the Pain, 1996, outright gave you a red pill guideline of how women are, and y'all laughed at it. Patrice O'Neal constantly told y'all the situations. Y'all laughed at it. Then we come and we get these spaces that start getting more mainstream. The men are bitching, they're whining, they're crying, they're sassy. Y'all throw all the ad hominems you can, literally dismissing them. Do y'all really care? Or is it just a big joke to y'all?
I think I believe we do care. I think that when we want when we seek emotional availability or emotional capacity, we have not we assume that it's going to show up with masculinity, I guess.
But
Maybe.
why? Huh?
I don't know. I
But
don't
my
know.
thing is, why? Like, why do y'all assume that when y'all can't? Y'all create paradoxes when you're asking men to show up a particular type of way. Because it's
Mm,
like I want him to be emotional, but then y'all set conditions, and that's
mm-hmm,
been for decades. It's like he's not allowed to cry unless his mom dies, but it can't be too much. So
mm-hmm,
he can't
mm-hmm,
even be emotional realistically without conditions. He can
hmm,
be sad if he lost his job, but only for a little bit.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm,
the men don't create conditions for y'all on
mm-hmm.
how to love y'all, but y'all create conditions on how the guys are supposed to operate and be showcase their emotions.
Well, men and women are completely different, so I can definitely understand women having conditions and men not having certain conditions. I personally,
Capacity.
I personally, would like for men to. I think that men should be able to share themselves emotionally with a woman in their life that they confide in. And I think that it shouldn't be no shame there. I am hearing more so that the role that men feel that they're in, and that they know that society thinks that society believes in them, is that that's a no go. Like there's no emotion, there's no weakness, there's no anything. But that's totally unhealthy though. Like, don't you think?
Y'all created that. That's what
Y'all
y'all
created
accept.
that, or society created that?
That and
Like,
but that's what women chose to accept. And
mm-hmm,
when the guys have consistently going off of just general, just talking in general, when the guys do demonstrate what you're currently asking for, he gets burnt. And
mm.
the thing is, I hear too many women, they'll sit here and be like, well, my
Can you
husband this.
describe what get burnt is? Like you say he gets burnt. Burnt in what ways? What does that look like?
She laughs at him.
Oh,
She weaponizes it against him. She goes, screw
mhm.
another guy because I lost respect for him.
Wow.
It's like
Whoa. Okay.
she starts plotting his demise. It's time to get out
So
the
you think
situation.
that when when a dude start revealing like, mom like this, dad like this, it's been so hard, I grew up like this, a female be like, oh, this he weak as hell. And she going to the next dude trying to find, wow. Really? Rush, you about to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is correct. Anytime a man shows any form of vulnerability towards the woman, she takes that information, stores it, and weaponizes it against the man. Matter
And
of
why don't
fact, no, no, let me finish. Let me finish. Ras. Matter of fact, she resents the man because the man wasn't able to hold frame. So now she becomes more rude and nasty just because he showed a form of weakness. And what she does is she does this to make sure that he's able to keep performing, or if not, she'll exercise hypergamy on steroids and look for a better candidate.
wow. Wow, Rush. Wow. Wow. Now, I've spoken to many women, and I've seen situations that sound exactly like that. I've seen situations of men committing infidelity, cheating on women, possibly like just whatever they've done, and tried to be truthful in terms with the woman, and the woman weaponizes the truth against them as if like, I told you the truth, but it's you always did this, da da da, whoopie whoop, and can't get over it. I think that what you said was really, really, really um important. Wow. I'm just a little surprised at all this tonight.
So what
Wow.
Right.
is
I mean, you know me for years. You know what I'm about. So this shouldn't be like anything shocking.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're on your panel and speaking about sucker free, You know, I hear it and I still feel the same, but I just didn't know that this is kind of like the consensus of most men, all men. The fact that you say that most women are selfish and don't have the ability to listen to a man and recognize emotion in my
Yo,
own man.
it's not just the man. It's just people in general. Women are very selfish and they don't have the ability to empathize for somebody else other than themselves.
But women are meant here to nurture and be empathetic. They raise children, they nurture the elderly. How could they not be empathetic? But Rush also says that if they, I think Rush says, or I'm not sure if Lionel said it, if that person doesn't mean anything to the woman, then she can't display empathy. Is that
Right,
no?
you're talking
Is that
about
what?
immediate family. If she's a halfway decent human being, she'll be able to empathize for people that's related to her. But anything outside of that, she does not have the ability of doing that.
And you agree with that, Lionel? Yeah, that's crazy. I
You're
mean,
funny.
yeah, I get okay. Well, wow. I mean, like you guys are men, so I'm sure you guys come across more women than I do, in different capacities. Wow.
But are you?
So
I'm
I just
talking.
assume that.
When I hear you say that, when the women are talking, are they talking about their frustrations with the guy, or are they telling you, dang, well, this guy thinks this? And I asked that for a reason because I had did a test just a few years ago. Because I have a decent pool of female friends, and I had asked
Hmm.
all the married ones if your husband genuinely talked about you behind your back, what would he say about you? All 21 don't know each other, never met each other. They're in different places, different lives entirely. I got one universal answer: a burden. I couldn't believe that shit. I said, whoa, all of you said this? And I had
What did
told,
they say?
they said they would say he would say I'm a burden.
Oh wow.
Now, this isn't a large pool. Don't get me wrong. 21 isn't a large pool, but it had me looking at things a little bit differently. And I started questioning how
Hmm.
often do these women actually talk about how the guy is feeling versus just venting off themselves. This is what I'm going through. This is what he's putting me through. But are you really talking about the why and how and what he is really stressing about?
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
And
And I
again,
don't think
you're in the
necessarily
mental field.
the why. Yeah, it's never the why. Like in mental health or in that therapy, it's always about getting to the why. So when
But
you're coming up in there, or when you start
men learn this through trials and tribulation. It's not something that that's taught to them directly, because
hmm
most men that deal with marriage and having kids, they don't share the frustration with their younger peers. They hold all that information with them, and I really resent the older generation doing that. They should keep it a being on how the mechanics of the male and female relationship really works, because if most men know how women really operate, they wouldn't uh they wouldn't they wouldn't be so obsessed of getting the girl, and becoming real successful just for the sake of taking care of the girl. They will understand that they're looked at as a tool, and they're just going to be used and abused at you know towards the whole entire relationship. If most men knew that, they wouldn't be sweating y'all like that. Word is born, you know.
Can I say you so word is
Well, I mean, Rob,
wow.
so if you look it up, They had this. They've taken numerous surveys. They've done live action surveys where they're asking people, "How did you maintain your marriage?" And these
Yeah,
guys,
that's like I thought it was emotional capacity.
and what do these guys saying? Listen to the wife. The wife is always right. Just
Mm-hmm.
let her make the choices. That's
That's
what
what they
they're
say.
all saying. It's all about her, not us. Her.
But I think that's also like an older generation, like the new generation. They don't even communicate with that happy wife, happy life thing. It's the whole us, and they're not even into the whole marriage thing. So, I definitely agree with you though. Like for years, it's been the wife. Listen to the wife. Do what the wife say. Gotta call the wife. Everything like that. But men were brought up that way to take care of your wife, to provide for your wife, and
Yeah,
in
they're raised to
turn,
be suckers and simps and tricks. Most men are raised to be suckers and tricks.
Rush, you don't think that men seem to get any inspiration or fulfillment out of providing for that woman or that family? Or do they just, or it's just more so a duty?
Why is that it though? I know.
Well, marriage is duty, Ass. That's what people forget. Marriage
Yeah.
is duty.
But you're saying like a man in that position would basically be a sucker.
Yeah, he's a sucker because okay, let me get a little bit more intricate on when I say most men are suckers. I say most men are suckers because they are investing their hearts, minds, and souls into a woman that's not even pure. Like I wouldn't even take it to that degree on that level of wifing up a female if she doesn't have a hymen. It's absurd to me how these guys will marry a woman that's been ran through like the Lincoln Tunnel and actually
Okay.
wipe them out.
So when you say ran through and you did mention the hymen, so you're saying ran through is more than one?
Really, Roz.
Right.
Really, Roz.
The average female in America, um, at least from the age of 15 to, and I'm being modest saying this, from 15 to 18, she done racked up 30 bodies already from the age of 18.
Yo, y'all are tripping, yo.
That I
Okay,
did
go ahead,
not say
Rush.
that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so your modern day female is a whore, basically.
Oh
You
my
know,
god. Oh my goodness. I
uh,
do not.
Raz, I don't even act like you're shocked. You know that, like I did a stream on the 5 different tiers of birds. You
I did
know,
see.
and I broke it down to a single molecule so people could understand um the high activity of promiscuous acts for the modern day female. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's
Yeah.
not wise for a man to wife up a bird. You want to know
Mm-mm-mm.
why it's not wise for a man to
I, def- I
wife up a
definitely
bird?
want to.
Because
Why?
she is married to the streets. Okay, the moment you try to tie down the chick that belongs to the streets, it's only a matter of time before she returns back to the streets because the streets is where she belongs.
So you don't think that a man can meet a woman, invest in her life, give her structure, give her what she needs to be focused on life,
Now, if
and
she's
then
been ran through, no,
wow,
a,
wow.
a man can't read. And this is what most. And if you for all you men out there, not only men but the suckers and simps out there, I'm gonna give you words of wisdom. You cannot rewrite a female sexual imprint, man. You can't rewrite that, my nigga.
Mm. So I guess and I know this is doesn't apply to you, but you would say that a woman with more than one child is or two is basically off limits.
She's not loyal.
How does
How do you have multiple kids and you're not married?
extreme circumstances do happen.
Okay, but do you think that but a woman can't be married if the man doesn't ask her or invite her into marriage? So I don't.
It's the woman. It's the woman. It's the woman's responsibility to vet out a great candidate for a husband. But these women in today's day and age, they're not looking for a husband. They're looking for a bank account,
I
status, clout. That's what most. That's what the modern day female is looking for, and
mm,
it's gotten so bad to the point where women have completely divest themselves from religion. Religion is a tool that was used within our social construct for people to hold on to a moral compass. These
mhm,
birds out here in today's day and age don't know God and they don't have no morals, man.
mm, wow, wow.
So,
Myself
Veron,
in church on Sunday, so I see a lot of church going women or women who have a lot of spiritual alignment. Does spiritual alignment um count for anything, Rush?
When you say spiritual alignment, you have to break that down for me. That
Like,
that could
do
mean
they have to
anything.
believe in your God, or do they just need to believe in a God or something?
I mean, I would hope that they believe in my God, but not just religion, all religion, most religion, I would say most religion do have guidelines on to hold on a certain level of morality.
Understand? We have Lionel. Were you trying to say something?
Roz, I wanted you to
Yeah.
tell me again about when you're talking about women. They don't obviously don't have to be married, but when you're talking about their capacity for love, I want to know why, in your opinion, women have the greater capacity for love than you think men do. And this is based off, don't, you can use personal, but definitely offer your experience because you talk with these women.
Yeah.
And Roscoe
Only,
ain't gonna be honest with her experiences.
the only reason why I base this on this is just because of the innate characteristics that women possess. Women possess empathy. Women possess the ability to deal with and handle emotion and intense emotion. The fact that women mature sooner or quicker than men in certain senses or in certain ways. And I say this is all innate. So nothing that they actually develop. I'm talking about the things that we know that women are born with. And because they say that men have to develop emotional intelligence and have to grow into certain things, that's why I feel that women are more adapt to deal to have the ability to present emotional
But
capacity.
I gotta,
So
so my apologies, but you said you feel. I want to know your experience
well,
though.
my experience is that
Because again, you talk with people, you help people help.
yeah, when I talk with people, I have realized that men have a lot of things in regards to principle,
Dang.
in regards to life and morals that guide them and that they live by. So it's kind of universal across the board with men.
And can you tell me why?
And and whether it's men or women, it's universal across the board because I think it's because a man has to show up in the world a certain way, whereas
Again, don't think. Just
women,
tell me your experience from what you're hearing, from what you
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. So men usually have general principles and morals that guide them and that they live by, and that's what I experience when I hear men speaking because they have to show up a certain way. They don't necessarily feel that they can. be out and open with their emotions, and most men have a can-do spirit. So it seems like you get the task done, you live the life, you do what you have to do, and you deal with the emotions later. If they have someone who they want to speak to about the emotions, then hey, kudos. But if not, in their mind and what the world sees is that they deal with the task and emotions, they deal with it however they deal with it. In regards to women, I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that women have the emotional capacity to deal with the emotions of men. I just don't believe that women recognize the emotions in a man or are able to receive it in a more accepting and willing way, if that makes sense.
But so doesn't all of that go against the point you were making though? Because your
I
experiences
don't know.
completely doesn't your experiences kind of shut down what you believe, what you feel like they should be doing?
So my experiences do necessarily show that men have certain characteristics that
Nah, be
women
honest, bro.
don't have that can make them more emotional, have the ability to be more emotionally capable. But I don't necessarily think that one does it more than better than the other, if that makes
But what I asked is, in your experience, what have you seen? Have you seen one do it better than the other? Because you already
sense. The
answered it.
men,
But,
the men, the men.
okay,
Okay, the men.
there you go.
Men are more loyal, men have more principle, men like all of those things. And I do agree with Rush also when he says that women practice hypergamy and that we could get a man out. And I believe that's just because we always feel I think that's because we always feel that we're wanted. Even the ugliest woman will get a man out just because
Yep.
we know that we're a woman and somebody is going to want us. Um, it's only those women who actually want to be intimate and build with a man, I think, who are willing to learn where to meet them at emotionally. And those women are where it's okay with being emotional. Now, we don't want you crying on us every day. I think that the biggest
Why
fear
y'all
is
go
that
for
when a
that
man
extreme though?
no, this is the thing. I think that the biggest fear is that when a man opens up or gives his emotions the responsibility that that woman has, because if you're not we may feel that he wants us to make him feel a certain way or make him feel better or find a solution for him, and most of us aren't capable logically to figure all that out when we just
What
should
y'all
possibly
children?
just listen. Hmm?
Are y'all children?
No, we're not children. But there are so many things that can be
Once
lost in
again, Rise
communication with
Girl
men and
not
women
being
talking. It could be the language. Huh? Go ahead,
I
D.
said once again, Rise Girl not answering the question. What are your experiences?
I answered this.
Your experiences. All
I
right.
said I
Put,
experienced
put the
men
drink
being
down.
more.
Focus.
I experienced men having more emotional capacity. They express that more so in
So,
relationships as well as in friendships with other men.
so
Like
Rob,
women
let me
can be
also point
very.
out when I don't want you don't have to use nobody's names. But the thing is,
Mhm.
you help people, you got girlfriends, you have experience. That's why again, what you see, it doesn't
That's
have to be your marriage, but what you see is a point that we're using.
yeah.
Why it's important because again, you're the host, so I want to know your experience.
Yeah, I definitely thought that. I definitely thought my experience, and I just really thought that what I see from men would was a work view or a world, just a work view. So when I got on the panel, I definitely thought that more women would be speaking more that men need to learn emotional capacity and all that. But that's not that. Like I say, when I'm dealing with men, it's more so men have certain principles and characteristics and honesties and truth that they hold to. and they practice that in relationships as well as with friendships with other men that women don't. But also, men and women see the world differently too. So I don't know if you can actually compare the two.
It's not about comparing though. It's about bringing it together though. So if you're
Hmm.
have to be able to say one does it more than the other, one
Yeah,
does it
that's what
worse
the
than the
men
other,
do.
because that's
Hmm.
how you hold it accountable. And but then when you hold it accountable, instead of everybody's right, then you can put it together and we can create solutions. Then you can start asking the right questions.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Does anybody else have anything to say to that? How you gonna press me?
All right, what's
D,
the
I see you
topic?
joined us again. How are you doing now? What's
Yeah,
going on? How's your line?
what's the topic, dog?
The topic has been the same, but Rush has said that women are selfish.
I mean, women are selfish. Y'all just naturally selfish. I mean, we go back to the beginning of time, Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? You had the whole world. You had God. You had your man. You had all that shit, but you wanted more. You wanted to eat the apple. You wanted to disobey. None the other shit wasn't good enough for you. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't loyal to your man. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all more loyal to the nigga at the workplace than y'all is your man. Your white boss
So,
get more play than the nigga at home.
but see, that's where the communication lies. Like, you have to speak that because what loyalty in a woman is and what loyalty in a man is may be completely different. Though I just think loyalty is what loyalty is. We have Stanley in the chat, and Stanley says, "Roz, where do you find these crushed by life stoics? Who?" And his next question is, "Who hurt them?" So we have a man in the chat who is in complete disagreement with you guys' comments. Do you have anything that you would like to say to him, guys?
Yeah, he's probably a sucker, a simp, or a trick. He one of those, man.
Oh, you guys, let's not disrespect Mr. Stanley. He
I'm
was a
sorry,
married
Raz,
man.
but he just took a shot at us. Come on, who
He
hurt
Yeah,
me?
did.
Rise, what the fuck you talking about?
Come
Let's
on.
not
He
disrespect him. He
did.
disrespected us, man. You know what I'm saying? You
He
over there
did.
laughing and giggling and shit. Nigga over there talking crazy, bruh. But I know that's his little shtick. That's his game. You know what I'm saying? But niggas ain't hurt. We just keeping it on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it when niggas start keeping it real with the hoes, we gotta be hurt and shit? But y'all can talk
So
about niggas all day long on these talk shows and
Stanley
podcasts and
may
shit.
Stanley may be an emotional available man or a man who have the ability to practice out
Man,
emotional
fuck all that.
capacity because when people do not have emotional capacity, sometimes it shows up like this reaction that D has: short tempered, upset, certain things like that.
Man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dog. You gotta be fucking kidding me, dog. Like, look, man, we ain't hurt just because we keeping it real about women. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are beautiful creatures. You feel me? But y'all have y'all bad spots about y'all too, and niggas is just giving up their experiences when dealing with y'all, man. Yeah, you know what it is, right, girl? You don't even have female friends.
I know, I really don't. I actually was gonna come on here tonight and thank my 5 male friends and my 2 homegirls. But yeah, I don't really have male friends, and it's really because female friends, and basically it's because of I guess I'm real so emotional capacity. I don't like a lot of folks calling me and dumping a lot of shit on me or dumping a lot of emotional stuff on me. And then that whole loyalty thing, I look at it completely different, whereas women don't. So for me, it's about principle and loyalty, and you can't be rocking with people who don't mess with me. People don't see it like that because it can create a whole bigger problem. So yeah, I do. I deal with a whole lot of men, but not like that because I do have a man in my life, so he's my best friend. But you know what it is. Yo, Rush,
See,
Lionel,
women.
D.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like, like. See, you
what's
always
wrong?
got. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. There's guys out here like Stanley that wanna joke and you know what I'm saying and troll and stuff. You know, and that's cool. You feel me? I mean, that's what internet's for, I guess. On all seriousness though, men are more loyal than women. You know what I'm saying? We put up with a lot of shit to be with y'all at times. You know what I'm saying? Like especially when y'all start having kids and shit, y'all get all fat, and some of y'all don't ever get back to how y'all used to look. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga got to put up with that. You know what I'm
But
saying?
why would
Nigga got to
you
put up with you
accept
getting old and getting menopause and shit, and you know what I'm saying? And nigga got to put up with, a lot of shit with y'all like on a day to day basis. You know what I'm saying? But we love y'all. You feel me? That's the thing. We love y'all. We put up with it. Y'all not putting up with a lot of shit with niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like let a nigga lose his job. Y'all out of there. Ain't no. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when I was watching motherfucking Martin not too long ago. And you know what I'm saying? You remember he lost his job and Gina was there for him. Ain't no hoes doing that in real life for real. I mean, there are some that are, but for the most part, most of y'all out of there. Y'all not loyal for real. Y'all loyal to y'all emotions. Shit.
that is terrible. And I wish that there were more women who had a better representation so that you guys could feel differently. I'm really crushed tonight about the sentiments that
Look, you
y'all
remember
have.
earlier when I was talking about my cousins bitching about their husband and shit. Well, check this
Yeah.
shit out. Check this shit out. All right. If them niggas make a lot of money, right? If them niggas lost their jobs right now, they would be out of there immediately. They only loyal to them niggas. They loyal to the security and the money and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they really not loyal to these niggas, man. They gonna be up out of there, man. You feel me? Like you just gotta understand that y'all just don't have that in y'all. But some of y'all do, but a lot of y'all don't.
There are plenty marriages and relationships that have lasted for many years. So both people have to have it on both ends, don't you think? Stanley says, I'm probably laughing. He says, I'm keeping it 100%. It's sad for y'all. And Stanley says, I am not joking. I am truly sad that old YNs hate having trouble with their relationships. I pray they mature for the baby mama's sake. Mm, mm, mm.
Shit, I ain't having trouble with my relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, it's like, again, if I go personal and I use my grandparents, they're married 40 years, but they both tell me don't get
Mm.
married. I've said it before, but that's the they said
Wow.
don't get married. They said they hate
My
each other.
parents,
They don't live with each other no more either, but they hate each other. And the only reason they're staying
my
together
parents,
because grandma doesn't want to go to hell.
wow. See, my parents told me all my life, girl, you beautiful. You're going to get you a husband. You need to get you a husband. When I was in a relationship that didn't turn into marriage, it was you wasting your time. You need to get you a husband. You deserve a husband type thing. So my mentality was like completely different. But it's like I said, as far as like what it takes to maintain relationships and listen to men's emotions and accept them and not, make them feel, that's a whole learning process. And I think that a lot of women are slow to learn that. Um, yeah, yeah, we are at times. Yeah, but
Like my
men
aunt and
should be
uncle.
more emotional with their later in their lives.
My, my aunt and uncle, married together 20 years, married 17. They went to counseling. Auntie learned at counseling that her husband has not been happy with her for the last 5 to 6 years, that he absolutely hated
That's crazy.
around. But I have several
But
stories
why
like this.
do men stay?
So when I hear
But
people,
why
when
do
I'm being,
men?
go ahead.
But why do men stay in these? You guys have not said any wonderful things about the marriages that you know of. So
The
why are these
capacity.
men staying in these
Well,
marriages?
remember, you brought up capacity for love. And these guys are literally
I
telling
did.
you how they're not happy, but yet these guys are coming in despite not being happy and outright saying it. And I have numerous examples, unfortunate. Now, I'm not saying it's all men
Mhm,
by any metric. I can't tell you if it's most or not. I can tell you my life experience, though. And I'm just saying, like,
mhm.
these guys, they do stay in these situations for long periods of time until they don't. But it's usually the woman that leaves.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah. Oh wow.
But then you brought up relationship, and it didn't have to be just romantic relationships. And I can tell you about
Yeah.
friend relationships also, or parental relationships. And I've personally seen a
Mm-hmm.
situation where a little girl is telling her mom she'd been abused. And the mom called her a liar, called her a bitch, called her all type of
Mm-hmm.
things. Then the girl had a psychotic break. She said, let her drive
Mm-hmm.
off the roof or send her to a mental institution. She didn't care. But her brother
Wow.
decided to take her in and help her. And then the little girl's like so appreciative that her brother gave her the love that her mom absolutely threw away.
I see that a lot. I see a lot of
So
men giving a lot of love, support, and appreciation in ways that you would think that women will or can, and that doesn't happen.
but
Wow.
then
Wow.
I'm just telling you my experience and what I've seen. And it's definitely overwhelmingly leans in one favor. But that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
dismiss that some other women have probably had shown a great representation. But even you brought up, you
Yeah.
see them showing the better representation more often than not.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
again, it's about capacity for love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it,
You're
man.
right.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a good one,
you.
man. Not you.
You too.
Sorry, I
Oh.
was on the phone. Yeah, not you. Thank you, man. You know I'm at work.
No, that was really good. Oh yeah, I forgot. That was really good though. I just didn't think that men had all these complaints about women like this across the board, and they're all the same. But I just attribute that to men and women seeing the world differently and operating differently. So yeah, jeez. Well, you guys, it's 2 o'clock, and I got to go. Thank you so much for joining. Dee, do you have any last words for the show before we end? Don't be mean to the ladies. He just left. Lionel, do you have any last words?
Um, yeah, because this was a great show. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Uh,
you. You guys were really good tonight,
but
though.
I don't like. I do want to say, like, at the end of the day, it does depend on it does. Every bit of advice doesn't affect everybody, but it doesn't hurt
Hmm.
to have. And that's why I asked you specifically, what have you seen? What have
Yeah.
you experienced? Because I
Hmm.
know situations that are quite literally close to me, and they are overwhelmingly negative. But then I
Oh
have some glimmers of light in there to show me that, hey, all of them won't be that way.
yeah. I've seen a lot of
Unfortunately,
situations with men who have been really taken advantage of by women, and
yeah.
it surprises me the amount of men who've been taken advantage of and used in certain ways by women. Wow. So yeah.
Again, not like, hey, I'm about to go out there and blame her, but not like that. And I can
Hmm.
understand that some dudes get tired of certain situations, but then you have to recognize patterns. When you start
Hmm.
recognizing patterns, again, hold yourself accountable, recognize the
Yeah.
pattern, but it doesn't dismiss someone from being a bad person either.
Exactly. True. Definitely. Definitely. Oh, thank you for that
Because I
too.
do see a lot of people who try to blame themselves and be like, dang, this is my fault. I messed up, all of this. And it's like, well, dude, she was evil.
Hmm.
Not going to take
Yeah.
that away.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Wow.
this was a great show, though. Did you have any more questions?
I do not. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm hopping off.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
D, your last words.
What?
Do you have any last words before I end the show? Yep. Once again, D has popped away, and I don't know what happened. Those lips. Here he is. back again.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say, shout out to Rush, shout out to Lionel, and most importantly, shout out to you for letting us on
Thank
here
you.
and let us talk and, have fun and shoot the shit, you know what I'm saying? As they say, I just want to say, man, most of y'all women don't like emotionally available niggas until y'all get old. But then there's a good batch of women that do like emotionally available women. I mean, emotionally available men when they're young, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's still good women out here. I don't want people to think in the chat and in the motherfucking listeners and stuff think that we dislike y'all. It's just
That's what it sounds like.
we just talking about the bad aspects of y'all, and that doesn't mean that we're female haters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all be on. I mean, come on, y'all be on some bullshit sometimes. I mean, what's wrong with us calling out? But in my opinion, I don't think men want emotionally. I mean, women want emotionally available men when they young and in their prime. You know what I'm saying? They just like dudes that just gonna be, I guess, like chaotic, because it seems like women when y'all younger, y'all like chaotic dudes. Y'all like dudes that, just be, all over the place. That shit fun to y'all. I actually had a woman tell me that one time. She was 45 years old, right? We had a little situation like 3 years ago, right? And she told me once she got 30, she just got tired of the BS that, her husband was doing. You know what I'm saying? But it was when she hit 30. You feel me?
Yeah,
After a decade
it was
of being
33 for
with
me.
this dude, that was the age that she finally wanted to get somebody that was more emotionally available and just less toxic and all that other shit. Y'all don't be liking that shit till y'all get young. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to till y'all get old. Y'all need to be liking that when y'all young and in y'all prime. You know what I'm saying? And I know I kind of ramble right now, but yeah, shout out to you, Rise, and have a good night.
Thank you. Drive safely. Be safe today. That was once again the reasoning with Ross, a wonderful panel. We had Rush, we had Lionel, aka Suggs Verse, and D. You guys, when I say that I am completely flabbergasted with the things that these men said tonight, I am. And women, I'm not gonna say that I agree with them or that they're right or that they're speaking facts, but if the majority of us are showing up like them, like they spoke tonight, or if you know that you're showing up like the woman that they spoke of, then we may definitely need to figure out some things. I know that when I think of men, I think of masculinity, and when I think of a man in my life, I only can think of that one intimate person in my life. So I think that I'll be able to definitely accept the moments when that man is being transparent, honest, and emotional. Whether that's a lot or a little. I think as women, we just need to learn how to accept those things because we all are human. And you guys, men, I don't want to say I encourage you guys to, share a little bit more with the woman. Maybe you gotta talk it out, yo. When I tell you this, you always say that you're speaking of yourself. But when I tell you this, I just want you to listen. When I'm telling you this, I'm not looking for a resolution, whatever it is. But the basis of tonight was to speak on emotional capacity that is more than chemistry or more than love that keeps relationships, marriages, and all that together. Is the ability to have the emotional capacity to be able to communicate, to be able to get through the rough times, to be able to support, to be able to show up when somebody is short, all those particular things, to be able to listen, to be present in that relationship for that person. Like I said, it was wonderful. I really, 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 really love the panel tonight and the things that y'all were saying. I hope what's that saying? Teach one, reach one, teach one, reach one, each one, whatever. But y'all definitely reached me tonight. Like I'm definitely not perfect in no way, but some of the things that y'all said definitely resonated with me. Um, because we can often think that we're giving our all, and like the show say, you can be loving with everything, like loving with everything, but definitely not having the capacity or being limited showing up for them in that capacity. So I can relate to loving and loving and loving, but trying to learn those ways or learn the ways to show or illustrate emotional capacity so that person can see it. Um, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for joining. Happy Saturday to you. I hope that oh, Miss Queen, I wish you could have been here the whole time because I definitely needed some woman energy tonight. But I hope that you guys will come back tonight Saturday. So I hope that you guys will come back next week. And I promise, I can't promise, but I hope to be here next Friday or Saturday. One of those days, but I will be here. And we won't be talking about emotional capacity, but it will be something else. Thank you guys for joining. Subscribe to the Reasoning with Roz. Go to www.reasoningwithroz. Go to RozGirl37 at Instagram and subscribe there. Also, my Cash App is RozGirl37. So if you guys heard something good tonight, or I'm gonna be asleep. I be sleep on. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Drive safely. Be safe on your way to work. Definitely. Dang, I wish I could be on later just for you to keep on speaking. Oh yeah, so definitely be safe, Miss Queen. I definitely enjoyed meeting you on last week. But yeah, I hope to see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Good night to you guys.